Here in the Queen City of Cincinnati, the Bearcats are king. And tonight, they go bird hunting as they try to put another dent in the Louisville Cardinals season. Ben Mauck's the new mayor of Cincy, certainly the big man on campus. And campus is full this weekend for homecoming. Get ready for a real shootout next on the U. You're watching ESPNU College Football Primetime, presented by Citi. It's a Big East clash tonight in Ohio as Cincinnati hosts the Cardinals of Louisville. Nippert Stadium, a sold-out Nippert Stadium, comes to life now as the Bearcats enter from their den. This place will be absolutely electrified, welcoming in the Bearcats, who come in at 6-0. Well, hi again, everyone. I'm Dave Armstrong, along with the coach, Mike Gottfried. I guess a little bit of a delay. They're still in hibernation, but certainly haven't been this season, Cincinnati. 6-0 on the year. Meanwhile, Louisville, what's going on with the Cardinals? This could be a make-or-break game for Louisville tonight.
Dave, it's a circle-the-wagon football game for Louisville football because they still can control their own fate. They only have one loss in the league. So if they win out, they win all their games remaining in conference, they go to a BCS Bowl. So if Louisville's going to play, they're going to play tonight.
Well, both these teams are certainly going to play offensively. Two of the highest scoring offenses, not only in the Big East, but in the entire country. Why? They have great quarterbacks. And with Louisville, coach, you might have the best quarterback in the entire United States. I'll tell you what, a guy that is electrifying Louisville Cardinals.
Brian Brown is as good as it gets as quarterback. He's 21-6 as a starter for Louisville. 6'4", 228, so he has size. He's accurate, he's poised, he's tough, and he gets one of his key receivers back tonight, Douglas.
Douglas is back tonight. As for Cincinnati, this is how their season has gone. 6-0. They pick up a guy from Wake Forest who busted up his arm last year, graduated, came here. All he's done is lead the Bearcats to an unbeaten season.
When things are going right, they go right. Ben Mauck is a native Ohioan. A very good quarterback, has thrown 12 TD passes, 3 TDs last week in their comeback win against Rutgers. He gives you veteran leadership on the field. He settles this offense down.
Both of these teams average better than 40 points per game. We could have a real offensive shootout. Certainly, we're hopping to get started. It's Louisville and Cincinnati, and it's coming up next.
Jack Phillips 66. Hard-working gas.
We welcome you back to Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Now let's welcome in the third member of our team, Melissa Knowles. Melissa, I know both these teams with new coaches, but still a great rivalry.
That's right, Dave. Thanks so much. You know, a year ago, few people could have anticipated an atmosphere like this. Cincinnati's new head coach, Brian Kelly, has brought a love for football back to Nippert Stadium. I mean, just take a look at this sold-out homecoming crowd. While the undefeated Bearcats are hoping today to reclaim the keg of nails and prove that they're not only as tough as nails, but they are the best team in the Big East. Now, on the other side of the football, Coach Steve Crackthorpe and his Cardinals know there's still a lot of football to be played this season, and they're not giving up. Last week they lost to Utah, and they're hoping to rebound this week and prove to everybody that, you know, with only one loss in conference play, they are still contenders for the Big East Championship. Dave?
All right, thanks a lot, Melissa. Good to have you with us here tonight. Well, you look at these two teams, Steve Crackthorpe, he comes in guiding this Louisville team, and the only difference really between these two, defense. The Bearcats, they've only allowed 13 points per game, whereas Louisville, they've allowed over 30 points per contest. This the 47th meeting, as Melissa mentioned, for the keg of nails, as Louisville meets Cincinnati. Cincinnati leads the overall series, but boy, it has belonged to the Cardinals of late. They've won the last 4 and 8 of the last 9. Of course, you coached here at Cincinnati back in the early 80s, 2-0 against Louisville.
Never lost to Louisville as an assistant here either, so I never saw the keg of nails either.
You never even put it in your office?
Never saw it.
How about that?
I don't know. It might have been missing back in the 80s.
All right, it'll be Cincinnati to touch the ball first. Todd Flannery will be kicking off for the Cardinals. Flannery handles their kickoffs. Their place kicker, Art Carmody, is the best in the land, really, but he only does the place kicking. So Flannery will be kicking off for the Louisville Cardinals. And, you know, you wonder now, with Cincinnati getting the ball first, they're going to test that defense. Dominic Goodman, you had his dad playing for you.
And Donnie, he was a great fullback, great person. And you said something very important. Louisville's defense has to get off to a good start.
They really do. Jacob Ramsey, he joins Dominic Goodman as they await the kickoff of Todd Flannery, standing at their own 2-yard line. What a great atmosphere here in Cincinnati tonight. A sold-out Nipper Stadium. And we are underway. End-over-end kick, angling toward the corner. It's picked up by Goodman. He comes back to the middle of the field. Goodman, he dances across the 25, finally hit and stood up at the 30, falls forward to the 32-yard line. So a 25-yard return, and it'll be Cincinnati going on offense. That means Ben Mock comes out. 65% of the time he completes the pass, running this spread offense for the Bearcats. Not only with 65% of his passes completed, but over 1,000 yards passing. And oh yeah, by the way, 12 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Get ready too, because this is not only a high-powered offense, but it's a fast-paced one as well. At some point here tonight, they're going to go to a no-huddle offense. Right away, they give the ball inside, and it goes across the 35 up to the 36-yard line. So let's look at the backs and receivers for Cincinnati. And they'll be changing like crazy as far as the running back is concerned. Hilliard, Jackson, Barnett, Goodman, they'll all touch the ball tonight at the receiver spot. The offensive line, they've all gone to a weight loss camp. Every one of those guys has lost at least 25 pounds, including Trevor Canfield, who is now down from 330 down to 295. He's lost 35 pounds. This pass completed out to Goodman. That'll be a first down near midfield. So let's look at that Louisville defensive front four. Good athletes up there for the Cardinals, including Cox, Williams, Heyman, and Mitchell. The linebackers are led by Lamar Miles, who has 66 tackles and a couple of sacks this year. The defensive secondary, they haven't done much in the way of creating turnovers. Only 2 picks, both of those by Rod Counsell. Well, a penalty flag comes down as we're setting the lineups.
Really difficult to understand this penalty, because all of a sudden Cincinnati was going to try to go real quick.
Our referee tonight is John McDade. So they move the ball back to the 43, but it is 1st and 10. So they move the yard marker back as well. This pass in and out of the hands of Marshawn Gilliard. Incomplete. He was covered there by Rod Counsell.
It's so important for Louisville to get off on a good start tonight. Defense and offense. They got behind Utah 27-7 in the first half. They can't afford that same kind of luxury tonight. They didn't get back against Utah either.
You know, in a year of surprises in college football, Coach, Louisville's defense, or lack thereof, has been one of the biggest surprises, because they have virtually everybody back from a year ago. This pat is caught by Gilliard, and that'll be a first down.
Big cushion over on Gilliard's side. Ben Mock again with the fast-paced offense. Good throw to Gilliard. Good cushion, though. Too big a cushion by the corner.
Again, they go to the no-huddle offense. Doesn't mean they're going to hurry up. They'll take their time, but it really limits what Louisville can do as far as changing personnel. This time the give is to the running back. That is Butler Benton, and he rushes for almost 10 yards before he's stopped by Whitney Terrain. When you look at Steve Craigthorpe, and you don't have to tell him about how bad their defense has been. Look at that last week against Utah, another loss for the Cardinals. They allowed almost 600 yards of total offense. Mock pass underthrown and incomplete, intended for Goodman.
Dominic Goodman made a great effort to come back for the football. Mock underthrew it. Good contact. Really tried to come back and make that catch, almost a sensational catch.
Goodman, you see his numbers on the year with 3 touchdowns. Already the 7th play of this drive. And again, the linemen stand at the line of scrimmage. Mock getting the play in from the sideline. They don't go to a huddle. He'll do this all with an audible. Again, they run the ball. Running it well is Benton again. Benton fumbles the ball, though, and it's picked up by Louisville. Cox picks it up for the Cardinals, and a huge turnover, something that Cincinnati has not done very much of this year.
And that is a 16th fumble that Louisville has caused this year. Get it? And that was a good tackle. Rodriguez, the offensive guard, number 74 for Cincinnati, made a great block to spring into the secondary. Real good job by John Russell stripping the football.
Yeah, Russell did a good job, then Brandon Cox fell on it. So it wasn't like Louisville's defense stopped Cincinnati. They stopped themselves. So now it'll be the Cardinals taking over on offense for the first time from their own 9-yard line. And here he is, Brian Brom. Brom comes in as a senior. Many thought he could have gone out after last year and gone to the NFL, but he decided to come back because Louisville, quite frankly, they had all the makings of maybe playing for the national championship. And that all has been derailed by 3 losses this year. A quick hitter to the outside. Pass is caught by Scott Long. He skirts the sidelines, gets all the way up to the 25-yard line. So here is Brian Brom, coach. My goodness, look at his numbers. They're staggering.
I said to you, Dave, when we saw Louisville come out on the field, they're a good-looking football team with good wide receivers. Brian Brom finds that array of good wide receivers, and he's been deadly all year.
He really has. 20 touchdowns. You saw only 4 interceptions. On the end around, the give is to Trent Guy. He gets it up to the 32-yard line. Finally, Anthony Williams makes the stop. So when you look at the backs and receivers for Louisville, Anthony Allen, he has to have a good game. He had a great game against Middle Tennessee when he ran for 275 yards, but only 300 yards total in all the other games combined. The offensive front line led by Eric Wood, the center, all Big East a year ago, making his 32nd straight start. 2nd and 5 for the Cardinals. And now movement on that offensive line. This will be a 5-yard penalty, and it'll make it 2nd and 10.
Dave, one of the biggest items in this football game is the fact that Harry Douglas is backup wide receiver. He and Rudia missed last week's game against Utah. That's 68 receptions you take away from Brian Brown. This guy right here, Harry Douglas, big play wide receiver.
He's missed 2 weeks, coach, and yet he still leads Louisville with 38 catches this year. Pass overthrown, a rare overthrow for Brom. He was looking for Patrick Carter. So let's look at that defensive front 4 for the Bearcats, led by Angelo Craig. Already has a sack and 20 tackles this year. Very, very athletic. The linebackers, Ryan Manilak, he might have saved the day last week against Rutgers, had a pick late in that contest. And then the secondary, my goodness, you talk about picks. D'Angelo Smith has 3, Mickens has 4, Nakamura has 3 more, and then there's Anthony Williams. He can really stick you. 3rd down and almost 10. Brom given time. He finds his receiver underneath. The pass is caught by Long, but well shy of the 1st down marker. It'll bring up a 4th down.
A good tackle by Corey Smith, and Joe Tracy, the defensive coordinator for Cincinnati, said we have to punish the wide receivers when they catch the ball.
On to punt now for Louisville will be Corey Getchie. Corey Smith goes off. Nice play there. Nakamura waiting for it at his own 30. Gambled a little bit and then is taken down right there. So no return at all for Nakamura. But Cincinnati will retake their offense from their own 29-yard line. We're going to take a quick break here. So far, nothing doing, no score, with 11:26 remaining in the first quarter. By Allstate, are you in good hands? With Melissa Knowles and Mike Gottfried, I'm Dave Armstrong along the shores of the Ohio River here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Ben Mauck, you see his numbers on the year, transferring in from Wake Forest. Last year in the game 1, he broke his arm, tore his labrum, tore his rotator cuff. I'll show you a little bit later on the huge scar that Ben Mauck has on that right throwing arm, and they've had to make some adjustments with Ben Mauck. They call it his pitch count, Coach. They want to make sure they protect that arm this year.
Yeah, they really do. He gives you great leadership. He's a veteran quarterback, and I've said in the open, when things go well, like him transferring, just getting in under the NCAA rule, and Cincinnati having the only program that could get him in.
Benton again. He runs for another first down. Gets it up to the 44-yard line. Yeah, Ben Mauck, I mean, what an amazing story. And there's that scar we were talking about on that right bicep. They had to really reconstruct that right arm and right shoulder area. And the fact that he's able to come back and play with that type of an injury. He wasn't even sure he was able to come back. He really came here more, he said, I can be like a coach on the field for you because I understand the spread offense. That's what he ran in high school with his dad. Play action. Now Mauck scrambling, and he'll get rid of this one. No, incomplete. Almost picked by Terrain. Miles was really putting the pressure on, and Terrain almost had a pick, but he was out of bounds.
Ben Mauck from Ohio. You said he played at Kenton High School with his dad as the coach. He knew he wanted to come back to Ohio. He wants to be a high school football coach, so Cincinnati worked out perfectly.
Well, certainly did for him. And Mauck, by the way, at the end of the year, he's going to request a medical red shirt. He might have yet another year. This guy's going to have his doctorate by the time he gets done.
Be a professor here.
Second down, Mauck steps up. Now he'll run. Look out, hit hard from behind, all the way up to midfield. Preston Smith was one of the first ones there. And our first look back at the studio with Lowell Galindo.
Well, guys, LSU and Kentucky were tied at 27 with time winding down. 3rd and 11 for the Tigers, and Matt Flynn just flips it to Richard Murphy. And this kid's going to hurt somebody running like that. Moving the chains, keeping it alive. Colt David for the field goal. This would have won the game, but is no good. So we are going to overtime, tied at 27. David, Coach, back to you.
Well, how about that? You surprised by that?
Yes, I am.
Kentucky and LSU even up, going to overtime. Another first down here for the Bearcats as they'll move the chains down to the 44-yard line.
You talk about that game, Dave, and LSU with a very emotional game last week, and sometimes you just don't come back.
We went into the weekend with 11 unbeaten teams in Division I. Of course, UConn losing earlier today, so we're down to 10. Cincinnati at one of those 10 remaining.
In Louisville, all the problems they've had on defense, you just want to bleed slowly. You don't want to give up the big play.
There goes Benton again. He's run well, but not this time. Only a couple. He gets it down to the 36-yard line. So here's what's left from the Big East. 2 teams left, including South Florida, who had a huge win today. I mean, in terms of the score, they just blew out their opponent. Kansas and Missouri, they remain unbeaten. Of course, Missouri playing Oklahoma right now. Boston College unbeaten out of the ACC. Ohio State won big today. Arizona State and Cal play tonight. LSU, as we just told you, they're in a dogfight in overtime with Kentucky. As this won't be the first down, as they get it to the 35-yard line, it'll be about a half a yard shy of the first down marker. Henderson making the stop there. So now what do? Go for it.
I think you go for it here. You've been having your way with Louisville. You fumbled the football. You have to go for it here.
And that's what they're going to do. Brian Kelly, no hesitation at all. Man, there's some movement. That'll be the first down already. They don't even have to make the play. It's a veteran move by Mauck to pull him offside.
Lack of concentration when you jump offside. You're looking in at the football. Two of the defensive linemen came forth and just can't make those mistakes because you're not good enough on defense already.
With Brian Kelly, this guy has taken over Cincinnati by storm. The students call him BK. He is extremely popular. You know, you look at the contrast between these two first-year head coaches. Brian Kelly, you know, you could say the honeymoon is over, but you talk about wedded bliss here in Cincinnati. This one incomplete, overthrowing his receiver is Ben Mock. He was looking out there for Gilliard. But Brian Kelly certainly wedded bliss here in Cincinnati. On the other sideline, Steve Cragthorpe, his team 3-3 with all those expectations. The honeymoon is over there in Louisville, and there are many fans who are looking for divorce papers.
Oh, he's a pretty good football
agree
coach.
with you.
I know this. When things go bad, sometimes everybody wants to point the finger and who's wrong and who's making mistakes. And you know, you just have to define yourself a little bit more. If they can win this game tonight, they still have a great season in store.
No question. Only one game so far in the Big East. They lost that one. That was a bad loss, though, to Syracuse. But a win here tonight, they can make good for that. You know, they make good with a win on the road against a 15th ranked team in the country. Little shovel pass. This one goes up to Benton, and he gets it across the 25. Is stopped down at the 24-yard line.
Offensive line of Cincinnati doing a good job. Good mix in the play calling. Hit up inside and run the football inside, outside. You're throwing the ball. You keep Louisville off balance.
Certainly have done that, but now facing a 3rd and 4. They need the 20-yard line for a first down. Here comes pressure. They get it out on the wing. The pass is caught by Goodman, and he's into the house. Touchdown, Cincinnati!
What they did, Dave, is they caught Louisville in the blitz. Louisville brought both linebackers a screen. It's a great call. Goodman catches the football, dives in the end zone. I don't think that's a penalty. I know they called it and they're going to mark it, but he's trying to get in the end zone. He doesn't know if this guy from the side's going to tackle him. He's just hungry to get in.
I agree with you, Coach. I mean, I understand the rule about excessive celebration, but that's exuberance.
No, that wasn't
That's
excessive.
just exuberance.
He's trying to get in the end zone.
Yep. Yeah, the extra point is good from Rogers. And it's quickly 7-0 in favor of Cincinnati. A 24-yard pass play. Offensive coordinator Jeff Quinn thrilled to call a screen pass when they're blitzing, and Goodman dives into the end zone.
Are these numbers right?
Yes.
Do you know what this means? It means we have doubled in the last 6 months. It means we're gonna have to hire more people, move into a bigger space to get those key card things. We'll need to order a lot more wood. What if this continues?
Dave, isn't that kind of the idea?
Citibank Business Banking. Whatever your growing business needs, Citibank's there with guidance and customized solutions to help your business thrive. Come to Citi and let's get it done.
What are you doing?
Making a call.
To who?
Allstate.
You want to think about that?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Idiot.
I hit my head and lost my memory. I don't remember sex. I don't remember how it feels. You're a virgin.
Sometimes the only thing funnier than losing your memory
I don't know what I'm supposed to know, and I don't know who I know.
is finding it.
Oh!
Christina Applegate.
Have you lost your mind?
No. Yeah, no.
Samantha Who, a new comedy, premieres Monday, 9:30, 8:30 Central.
And how are you today?
I'm a virgin.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm a pirate.
On ABC. Start here.
ESPNU Coaches Spotlight gets you the inside scoop on the top college football programs. Find out the campus lowdown live from the ESPNU panel of experts.
The bottom line is you got to face the music, Charlie.
Alabama. Nick Saban is earning his paycheck.
And get details on all the key matchups. Only Coaches Spotlight takes you out to the press conferences.
You have to play with an intensity.
I was disappointed. There's going to be tough time. There's going to be adverse time.
And breaks down the upcoming schedule. ESPNU Coaches Spotlight presented by Liberty Mutual. Tuesdays at 1 on ESPNU.
Inside the Polls, Mondays at 7 p.m. on ESPNU.
Yeah, Dominique's daddy played for Coach Gottfried back in the early 80s, making Daddy Donnie proud as Dominique scores a touchdown from 24 yards out. And the youthful exuberance of Goodman as he dives into the end zone. Cincinnati, for whatever reason, is going to be penalized for that. We don't agree with that. No fun call. But anyway, Cincinnati leads 7-0. And with more on Goodman, let's go down to Melissa Knowles.
You know, guys, when Goodman came over to the bench, his teammates were quick to go over there, give him a pat on the back and say, great, we are happy that you got us in this game, and to be the first ones on the board, they are very excited. And Goodman, though, he wasn't doing any excessive celebrating when he got up here on the sideline. He's like, you know what, guys, I'm glad I could do that for us, but let's stay in this game, and there's a lot more football to be played, guys. Thanks a lot, Melissa. 71-yard drive in 11 plays. By the way, that little dive into the end zone cost him 15 yards here. So now Jake Rogers, he's kicking off from the 15. Should be a golden opportunity for Louisville to get great field position. High end-over-end kick. Lots of hang time. It's taken at the 25-yard line. And a good run back by Trent Guy as he gets it almost to midfield, a 23-yard return.
Great field position by Louisville.
Look at Louisville, though. This is one of the things we talked about earlier today, Coach. Louisville cannot afford to fall behind early. No. They have in their losses this year.
No, and they, as said before, their defense has to find a way to bleed slow, not gushers right off the bat. They have not stopped Cincinnati in 2 series.
You're right. Cincinnati fumbled on their first series inside the 10. On the second series, they scored a touchdown. So now it's up to Brian Brom and the Cardinals to try to answer. At their own 48-yard line. Good hard running here by Brock Bolin. He's a bulldozer as he gets it into Cincinnati territory for the first time, and we get you to LG.
Well, guys, Kentucky opens up overtime, driving down the field. It's Andre Woodson to Steve Johnson, down to the 1, Tom Luganville.
3rd and 8, ice in his veins after getting stuffed on 2 consecutive downs. And then Derek Locke from the 1 to put him up.
2 plays later, and that does it. They reviewed it, but the touchdown stands. LSU needs to answer, down by 7.
Oh, boy, how about that?
That's Tom Luganville's Heisman Trophy winner there, Andre Woodson. He might be on to something.
He might be. Of course, Kentucky earlier this year knocked off Louisville, and that might have sent this Cardinal team a spinning. A first down here. You look back at that after Louisville won the first 2 games, then they lose to Kentucky, then the after effect of that, they lost 2 to Syracuse. So those of you just joining us, we welcome you to Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati. Along with Melissa Knowles and Mike Gottfried, I'm Dave Armstrong. Louisville has won the last 4 meetings and 8 of the last 9. They have kept that keg of nails in their possession. Cincinnati, all these players saying, I've never seen the keg of nails. They want to get their arms wrapped around it. First down for Louisville. Again, it's Bolin. He's finding some room. And he gets the ball all the way down to the 34-yard line.
Bolin is from Germantown, Ohio, so he's going to want to play in this football game. Probably has a lot of people here at this game tonight. But Louisville has to run the football. When they don't run the football, in their wins, they average 47 runs. When they lose, they average 23 runs. They need to run the football and set up the play action on Brian Brown.
Absolutely. You know, Brom has been consistent all year long. He has thrown for an average of better than 400 yards per game. 400! And he's also very good at taking a hit. Brom goes down. He is nailed by Corey Smith, but he still got rid of the football on a completion for a first down.
And Louisville's offensive line doesn't give up many sacks, only 7. But Brian Brown takes a lot of hits in a football game. But Joe Tracy, the defensive coach from Cincinnati, said he is tough guy.
Yeah, Tracy and Brian Kelly both were telling us yesterday in our meetings, Coach, that with Brian Brom, it's tough to put pressure on him because even when you hit him, he stands in that pocket. He may be as tough a quarterback as they've ever faced. Now Bolin again. He dives forward for a couple of yards, gets it inside the 30. When you look at Brian Brom's numbers, they've been staggering, including that loss last week to Utah when he threw for 4 more touchdowns, almost 500 yards through the air. He has 3 400-plus yard passing games this year. Of course, in 2 games against Cincinnati, he's unbeaten against the Bearcats, a total of 627 yards through the air in those 2 games with 3 touchdowns. Second and a short 9. Brom given time. He's able to find Douglas. Douglas fakes one way, goes the other, is tripped up by Nakamura, or that might have been a touchdown out at the 10.
See, that's what he can do for you. When Harry Douglas gets the football now, he's dangerous to score. Brian Brom just with the short throw, look at that move and the speed getting down the sideline. Pretty impressive.
Look at that quick move right there.
Good stop and go. Accelerates.
Good hit by Nakamura. And look at Louisville. They have been extremely efficient in the red zone. 25 touchdowns out of 33 opportunities. Bolin here tripped up at the line, but still able to fall forward down to the 5-yard line.
Brian Bolin does a really good job here of cutting. Good vision. He sees a defender on his right side, cuts all the way back to the left, picks up valuable yards.
Second and goal now for Bolin and the Cardinals at the 5-yard line. This the 8th play of this drive. Remember, it started at the 48-yard line after that penalty on the kickoff that really gave Louisville great field position. Brom, lots of time, very patient, and he's able to find Bolin for the touchdown.
What a good drive, set up by the penalty on the kickoff. Good field position just outside the 50-yard line. And Brian Brom in the running game, they have everything going on offense. Good throw right here to Bolin. Just snuck it in there.
Coach, he looked off 2 other receivers.
He looked off. He's counting down. He's checking off. You're exactly right. He was looking to the outside, inside, came back to Bolin.
That was his 3rd receiver. Watch his eyes. He first looked left, then right, and then right into the middle.
You're exactly right, and the great ones can do that.
Unbelievable. Brian Brom, one of the best. Look at him. Look right. Nope, that's not open. Looks left. Nope, that's not open. Here we go. We'll go in the middle. Man, that's good stuff. That's hard to defend.
They didn't.
You're right. So Bolin was a huge part of that drive.
Good drive because you have to answer a score. Steve Crankthorpe over on the sideline of Louisville knows this could be a shootout tonight.
They did review that play just to make sure that Bolin did have control. He did. And after the official review, it is a touchdown for Bolin, and it caps a 52-yard drive in 8 plays. Took just over 4 minutes. Now, Carmody, who has not missed an extra point. He's 33 of 33 this year, and that one splits the uprights. So we're tied at 7. Brian Brom and the Cardinals do answer with Brock Bolin doing a lion's share of the work on that 52-yard drive. 7-7 our score with 2:58 to go in the first quarter.
Additional power for homeowners.
Well, both teams with something to cheer about now, each with a touchdown. Brian Brom able to lead his team down the field to Brock Bolin, who gets his first receiving touchdown of the year, his 4th touchdown overall. Bolin, it's only appropriate that he did score the touchdown because he did most of the work on that 52-yard drive. So the Louisville Cardinals able to answer, and Coach, you pointed out that penalty on the excessive celebration by Goodman. That was big because it gave Louisville great field position near midfield. So now here's Flannery, and over end kick. Goodman at the 5. And across the 25 where he's hit. Up to the 28. Let's get you to Loa Galindo and Tom Luganville.
Well, guys, LSU has answered. Kentucky scored in overtime. Matt Flynn fakes one way, and Richard Murphy goes the other way, tying the game. Double overtime now. LSU with the ball first.
Coach, what about your Heisman guy? He didn't finish the game today.
No, Michael Hart. I like him. He got hurt in his eyes, and now his ankle's hurt.
But his eyes are still healthy. His eyes may still win it.
Right. I'm going to add to the controversy a little bit. If he's going with Mike Hart of Michigan, then I'm saying Brian Brom should be back in the mix for the Heisman with the numbers that he has put up this year. Lamar Miles making the stop there is Greg Moore. A nice gain on first down all the way up to the 35.
I think the Heisman's wide open. Brian Brown can get back in it. Deshaun Jackson right now at California may be the favorite. A lot of people like McFadden at Arkansas.
Yep. Boston College.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, he's quarterback at BC, unbeaten. This will be a first down for Moore. As he moves the pile, and there is a flag on the play.
Where that penalty came from, it's got to be holding.
Flag on the play. Holding. 74 offense.
So that'll push Brian Kelly and the Bearcats back. Hey, don't forget, college football on ESPN continues later tonight. The Rattlers of Florida A&M take on the South Carolina State Bulldogs. College football primetime presented by City tonight at 10 Eastern here on the U. What a great day of college football on the U today. South Florida began things, and then Virginia taking on UConn. Great game there. Great game between those two. And now we cap it off with these two games in prime time. Now 2nd and 12 for Mock. He loads it up. He's able to find Goodman, who breaks a tackle, skirting the sidelines. A first down up to the 44, and now a bunch of flags come in. Laundry all over the field.
Dominic Goodman is the kind of receiver Ben Mock's going to go to in crunch time. He was a high school quarterback. His dad thought he was going to play basketball at Findlay College in Findlay, Ohio. And Dominic one day said, no, I want to play football.
15-yard penalty, first down Cincinnati.
This is a sure-handed receiver. Ben Mock spreading Louisville out. No backs in the backfield. Louisville having trouble tackling. There's a late hit, not on Dominic Goodman, but somebody came flying in there.
Tell me about his dad, Donnie.
Dad was a quiet smile on his face every day, every minute. Great effort. Former Marine. Great guy to coach.
Fullback, right? Little shovel pass here to Moore. It actually will lose a yard. Now a late flag comes in. It might be roughing the passer.
And they're going to catch Louisville knocking down LD Scott.
Pass complete to Moore.
93. You can't make those kind of mistakes. Jump offside.
Roughing the passer. Number 95 defense. 15-yard penalty being enforced. Line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
That's on Maurice Mitchell.
Yeah, they called it on him. Could have been on either one of them. Mock back to throw. Shovels the football. They give an extra hit to Mock. A good call by the official.
So two big penalties, personal fouls against Louisville, have tacked on 30 yards to this drive for the Bearcats. Maurice Mitchell, no question about that late hit. Mock was just standing there like a statue when he went down. Mock, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns last week against Rutgers. Fires this one on the wing. Pass is caught at the 20-yard line by Goodman again.
Dominic Goodman having a great first half. Ben Mock just going to keep going back to him because he's got a good cushion over on the side. One-on-one coverage.
Well, we showed you Louisville's success in the red zone. Cincinnati no slouch. 27 of 30. with 24 touchdowns. So here they are in the red zone, just inside the 20-yard line. Second and short. High snap. Mock. He threw that one away. Now flag comes in. You know, you had the guy draped all over the receiver, Bobby Buchanan. That's a flag there on Buchanan. That's a third penalty in this drive against the Cardinals. Again, our referee tonight, John McDade, this Big East officiating crew.
Hold. Number 34, defense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line from line of scrimmage. First down.
You know, you see teams with confidence. Louisville's defense has no confidence.
I agree.
They're making mistakes, but they don't have any confidence. They've given up so many yards and so many points that they almost expect to give them up.
They're trying to be aggressive. They're trying to do the right things, but it's not working for them. And when it doesn't work, Coach, it leads to a lack of confidence. So you see them out there with their hands on their hips, shaking their head a little bit. The ball after the penalty goes inside the 10, so it's first and goal from there. And the give here is to Moore. He breaks it to the outside and gets down to the 5, inside the 5, down to the 4.
Greg Moore averages 6.3 yards per carry every time he touches the football. And Cincinnati really has Louisville's defense. You talk about no confidence, but they have them off balance because they don't know what to play.
You're right. It's been that way since the get-go. I mean, the only time that Cincinnati was stopped, they stopped themselves with a fumble at the 10. Clock stops here with 29 seconds remaining in this first quarter. We've seen both teams go up and down the field here, and on this drive in particular, 40 penalty yards against the Cardinals. So while we have a break in the action here, let's get you to Lowell Galindo in the studio. LG?
Well, Dave, it was double overtime between LSU and Kentucky. Colt David missed a would-be winner at the end of regulation. He lines up here 38 yards, giving LSU the lead. Kentucky has a chance to answer, and Lonas Siebert does. His version of the field goal, also good, tied at 37. Fellas, we are heading to triple overtime.
Wow, good. What a great game, Kentucky. Talk about a pressure kick.
Right down the road here in Lexington.
Trevor Canfield. He's the guy that we were talking about who's really adopted this new regimen where all these guys have lost weight. It's like they all went to the Biggest Loser campus and came away 25 pounds lighter. That's for this spread offense. Into the corner of the end zone, and that is a touchdown. Catch made by Marcus Barnett, his 7th touchdown grab of the year.
When you talk about throwing the fade, this is what Ben Mock brings to this football team. A veteran, he can't throw it any better than he throws it right here. Puts an air on the ball right there, touchdown.
Now to tack on the point after. Jake Rogers and Cincinnati back in front. 14-7. A drive aided by 40 penalty yards against the Cardinals. That was a 73-yard drive, more than half of it thanks to the Cardinals penalty.
And Louisville has got ripped on defense. Cincinnati at will. Whatever they want to do, they're doing on offense.
Well, you look at that student section now. They've had to actually limit the number of student seats. They haven't ever done that here in the history of Cincinnati football, but they had so many show up for the game against Marshall that they finally said, look, guys, we got to put a quota on this thing. So they capped it at about 6,500. Everybody has to stand in line now to go get their tickets, and students are camping out a day in advance.
I'll tell you what's happened, though. The Big East, that's been the big move. all of a sudden, now you have a chance when you're in the Big East. My first homecoming game.
That, the Big East plus, that 9-game win streak doesn't hurt.
Well, the Big East is the big thing. But when my first homecoming game, they said we're going to have a homecoming pep rally. So I came to the pep rally with the 2 captains. Nobody showed up. So it was a quick bonfire. Nobody lit the bonfire. Nobody here.
How about that? Good move here by Trent Guy. And he gets it all the way up to the 30-yard line. A 29-yard return by Guy.
But I want to go back to, because this is a great city and a great campus and a great chance to do great things here at this university.
Did you buy pizzas in your day?
No, nobody was there.
Nobody showed up, huh?
Yeah, they would have been there, but I had support. My first and second year were very good here in Cincinnati. People supported us.
Brian Kelly is going to put a pizza budget into his next contract because he's had to go out. He said, I'll do it every week. I mean, I really appreciate what the students have done. No running room here at all. The line of scrimmage did not move an inch. So Barnett scores for the 7th time this year. And the first quarter comes to an end as Barnett makes it 14-7 Cincinnati. It's been the Bearcats diving into the end zone, but Craig Thorpe's Cardinals, they're in this fight. 14-7 as we head to the second quarter. Here.
These students here at Cincinnati for the Bearcats. Dave?
Thanks. Yeah, thanks a lot, Melissa. Coach told us that, hey, we needed to separate this out. If we're really a truly Division I program, we need to stand our own 2 feet.
And he's done a great job of selling the program, the communities behind it. The greatest thing is to see the students here because the students are sold on Cincinnati football. Again, the Big East and Bob Goyne, the AD that got him in the Big East and built the facilities here, needs to have a lot of credit. He's retired in Jacksonville, Florida, but he did the job here.
Well, Louisville now facing this tough crowd here in Cincinnati and also facing a 3rd and 9. Brom comes up and audibles the play. And a flag comes in. Too much time. The play clock expires.
They may have got a timeout on the sideline. Steve Cragthorpe was trying to get a timeout.
Louisville called a timeout with 1 second left. First charge timeout of the half.
So it was good coaching
right
there,
by the official, and he saw that they weren't not going to get it off, so he called a timeout.
So he wasn't real happy that Brom was changing that play. You look at the first quarter numbers, and at this pace, you talked about Cincinnati going up and down the field, Coach. At this pace, the Bearcats will end up with 696 yards of offense in this game.
Well, that's what they've been giving up. And Utah, you know, had a ton of them against them last week.
Yeah, last week against Utah.
582, so that's
100 more than that. Yeah. Man, that's a lot of offense. Of course, it's kind of what we expected. Good move there by Cragthorpe, though, to save a 5-yard penalty and keep it 3rd and 9. So now after the timeout, Brom facing this 3rd and 9. They need to reach the 40-yard line for a first down. Brom hit on the play, still finds his feet, and then he had a receiver open enough for the first down, but Trent Guy just dropped it.
Wow, that was a big-time play by Brian Brom. He's 6'4", 228, so a strong quarterback. Takes on that hit, spins out, still finds a receiver. Here he gets hit, doesn't go down, stumbles, finds Guy, throws him the football, he drops it. Wow.
Punt here by Getchie. Fair catch, Nakamura at the 16-yard line. Good punt there by Getchie. 53 yards with no return. So Brom was on target, but Guy couldn't handle it. And Cincinnati's got the ball again, and they're dangerous. Well, how about that? So now LSU, they need a touchdown in the third overtime, and then they've got to go for the two-point conversion as well. We'll keep you posted on that one. Here Cincinnati takes over at their own 16-yard line. Not much running room on the right side. A couple of yards gained here, and that'll be about it.
This is a drive where Louisville's defense, they got pretty good field position right here.
Good
they
numbers.
need to slow this offense down.
Coach, good numbers for Mock. 10 for 14.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. But Louisville.
Second and a short 9. Now flags come in. Might have been some movement on that offensive line. They're all pointing at Ken Rodriguez.
False start. 56 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's the center, Jurek.
You know, Dave, you're sitting with 2nd and 14 yards to go now. If you're going to stop somebody, you got 2 downs to stop him right now.
Brian Kelly from Central Michigan, very successful there. Came over here with this spread offense. Last year actually took over for Mark D'Antonio in December of last year and was the head coach in the International Bowl for Cincinnati last year. Little shovel pass again. This is completed to Moore. He's got some room to run. And Moore gets it all the way up to the 30 for a first down.
Well, they're hurting him with the shovel draw. They let him come upfield, invite the pass rush, then dump it inside to Moore. Linebacker's not doing a very good job. There's nobody in the middle.
Louisville's got to make an adjustment there. Now Mock scrambling. He is tough on the scramble. No one downfield that was open, so he tucked it and ran for a yard. Willie Williams was shadowing him there.
Dave, go back to what you said about Brian Kelly coming here for the bowl game. Coached, brought 4 assistants here, said he learned the system. Mark D'Antonio didn't change anything. He changed very few. Coached the game, but he got to know the players and they got to know him. That's the difference between this sideline and Louisville's. When Steve Cragthorpe came in, he came in after recruiting or during recruiting, had spring ball.
Yeah, that extra head start certainly for Brian Kelly has paid big dividends for Cincinnati. You could see it coming last year with the Bearcats. They finished the season last year 8-5 with that win over Western Michigan in the International Bowl. Mark D'Antonio, he really set things up well here in Cincinnati.
I think he did a good job.
I agree.
And then Rick Minner before him did a good job, but brought the program to a certain level. And now Brian Kelly benefits because he's got a good team. He's in the Big East.
Well, 3rd and 11 here. If Louisville's going to make a stand, this would be as good a time as any. They're bringing pressure. Mock goes down. Mock is sacked by Willie Williams.
And the crowd from Louisville is cheering because they haven't seen this kind of effort. They had good field position. They kept Cincinnati backed up. Willie Williams gets a sack on Mock, and that's the way you stop an offense with the spread. Put pressure on the quarterback.
Kevin Huber, who many on this team think might be their MVP. Talk about a guy that can change field position. He is averaging better than 50 yards per punt. This one, it chases Guy all the way back to the 28. Guy, though, with a good return. He spins up to the 44-yard line. Now let's get you to Lowell Galindo for an update on Kentucky and LSU.
We have a final in Lexington, 4th and 2 for LSU. Jacob Hester limped off the field before this play, and Charles Scott is stuffed. Ball game. Kentucky wins 43-37. Remember that Bluegrass miracle.
They're cutting down the nets at Rupp Arena. Wait, it's a football school.
It's a football school after this win. Takes 3 overtimes, but Kentucky holds on 43-37. Kentucky with the win over top-ranked LSU. And Cal getting a test at home against Oregon State, all tied at 7.
Whew. Another great day of college football. Just another average Saturday. Have we had a Saturday yet this year, Coach, where we haven't had at least one major upset?
No.
Not that Kentucky over LSU is a major upset at home, but it's a big upset. It's a big upset.
But now Cal is sitting there. If they win tonight, they're 7-7 with Oregon State. And then you got Ohio State, who really hasn't played a tough schedule, but undefeated, playing good defense, sitting right there. Cal may move up to #1 if they win. Ohio State may move up to #1. Cincinnati may move into the top 10 if they win this week.
How about that? Cincinnati right now at number 15. They could leapfrog a few teams and get up there. Brom back to throw on first down. He goes down. Brom is sacked. Coming in to get him, Terrell Byrd, his 3rd sack of the year.
The 8th sack that the Louisville offensive line and blocking scheme has given up. Mike Donahue was beaten.
I loved what Coach Kelly said about Terrell Byrd yesterday. He tells his team, guys, while you were playing video games, Terrell Byrd was playing football. He's a football player.
Backyard.
He has a great feel for the game. He was a running back as a freshman in high school, has moved to the defensive line. Now they go back to Brock Bolin. He gets it across midfield to the 49-yard line.
Good call right there by Brian Brown. 8 sacks now, as I said, given up by the Louisville offensive line.
That's not many for as many times as Brom has passed the ball. Yeah. That's not too many. Of course, a lot of that is attributed to Brom, too, because he's so tough and standing in there.
He can get rid of the ball. He knows when you're blitzing. He is a big part of that.
All right, 3rd and 15 facing Brom and the Cardinals. Throws it out on the wing, too high. A pass intended for Trent Guy. It sailed up over his head. Quite frankly, Cincinnati had a bunch of defenders in the area. It wouldn't have gone for a first down anyway.
But good defense by Cincinnati, because Louisville had good field position at the 45-yard line. To not get anything is good defense by Cincy.
Well, you look at Louisville this year, Coach, they're over 50% on 3rd down. In tonight's game, 0 for 3.
Wow.
Now the punt from Getchie. Another fair catch called for and received by Nakamura at the 15. So we've got a timeout on the field. Right now, it's Cincinnati leading Louisville 14 to... Boy, that top 10 is going to juggle around again after LSU loses for the first time tonight. Now the unbeatens are gathered, and they're all going to move up a spot, I'm sure.
Hey, Dave, when you look at Ohio State, they got Michigan State at home. They got to go to Penn State. They have Wisconsin at home, Illinois at home, and Michigan on the road. They have the best schedule to go through unscathed.
But now it's kind of back up for grabs again as far as the national
teams are starting to roll back.
Yeah, absolutely. Pass out here on the wing, and this will be interference against Terrain as he and Goodman were all tangled up.
Pass interference. Number 9, defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
There's a throw by Mock. Terrain just stopped, and they stopped Dominic Goodman from running.
Coach, you remember the last successful drive for Cincinnati, not the last one where they had to punt, but the last successful drive that resulted in a touchdown. Out of the 73-yard drive, 40 yards of that were due to Louisville penalties. Now here they go again with a 15-yard penalty to start this drive.
And Steve Crackthorpe said they couldn't have caught that ball if he got by him.
So up to the 31-yard line. Mock with play action pass, throwing on the run. Nice catch on the run by Ernest Jackson, the tight end. Deion Palmer was with him stride for stride.
Ernest Jackson out of Southfield, Michigan. Delayed action, misdirection. Jackson's wide open. Makes the catch.
Kind of a tough matchup, Jackson, because he was a wide receiver last year. 6'3", 230, has better speed than most tight ends. No room to run there. Louisville does a good job in shutting that down. So it's going to bring up 3rd and short for the Bearcats.
Mock has been impressive. His leadership. Not a great passer, but he gets the ball there. Just a veteran. He's been in the ACC at Wake Forest. He's played in big games.
He has, and was a Mr. Ohio here in 2002. Back-to-back state championships for his dad at Kenton, Ohio. So he has played in that big game atmosphere before, but to come in and lead this team the way he has been truly impressive. Cincinnati 3 for 5 on 3rd down. Trying to push that pile. This looks like it's going to be short of the first down. They're going to mark it at the 40. He needed the 41. Preston Smith came up and made a really good hit.
I think you have to punt the ball here the way your defense is playing. But I'm surprised it went to the I formation there that brought Louisville inside and stopped them on 4th down.
Craig Thorpe probably warning his team about a possible fake here. 4th and 1. Kevin Huber probably now looking more at a field position type situation. Remember, the last 2 drives for Cincinnati have started back at their own 16-yard line. High punt. And this will take a Cincinnati bounce inside the 15 down to the 12-yard line. Another excellent punt for Kevin Huber. This one goes for 53 yards. Don't forget, college football on ESPNU continues tomorrow afternoon as the Benedict Tigers take on the Kentucky State Thoroughbreds. SIAC college football on ESPNU tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern.
Dave, I'm going to tell you about Louisville football here in a minute. Give you a little history.
All right. They wrap up Bolin, gang tackling there. Not much room to run.
No, Lee Corso in 1972 was 9-1, lost to Tulsa. But they've had some bad football over there at Louisville. Had their losing season. They got beat by Indiana State, Murray State. Howard Snellenberger took over in '85. He was 8-24-1 in 3 years. In 1990, he beat Alabama in the Fiesta Bowl. That's how far he took the program in Louisville, with the help of a one-man, a man that deserves a lot of credit for Louisville football.
Who is that man?
Bill Olson. Bill Olson used to be a basketball coach for Denny Crum as an assistant. He moved up to AD. He wanted football to be as good as basketball. Bill Olson should get a lot of credit for the way this program's going. And Ron Steiner's another guy. He died last week. I want to say hello to his family. Ron Steiner's a great young guy. He loved Louisville football.
Well, here's Brom facing a 3rd and 1. Scott Long shaken up on that last play. Looks like somebody rolled up on his leg. A good hit here. I'm not sure. I don't think he's got it.
I don't think so.
So now decision time here for Louisville.
And no decision. Louisville, Cincinnati's run defense only given up 85 yards rushing. Only 1 rushing TD.
Boy, Leo Morgan came up from his linebacker spot, coach, and just really put a lick on Bolin. So as you mentioned, no decision here on 4th and 1. Getchy back to punt it again. Low line drive kick. Nakamura goes across midfield. So on this battle of field position, remember the last time Cincinnati had the ball, they started at their own 15. They didn't move the ball, but with the punt and then the repunt, they're able to increase their field position by more than 20 yards. 14-7 Cincinnati with 5:45 to go till halftime. Absolutely. First mentioning Scott Barkey, our director, Steve Melton, our producer, taking that on all of us. And here's Mock as he gets it down to the 43-yard line, and I hope you got full coverage on your rental.
Quarterback number 9.
I'm not taking it back.
I'm not sure it's drivable. 2nd and 5, a gain of 5 by Mock. He mentioned his leadership ability, and how tough is that to come in and take over a team basically through spring ball, which he didn't get to play because of his injury, and then on into the fall. It's pretty impressive what he's been able to do. Almost a great catch by Connor Barwin as he went up over the shoulder of the defender, John Russell.
Dave, you talk about that. Ben Mock, when he comes in, you can see he's a pretty good football player. You know he played at Wake Forest. You know he's from Ohio, but he still has to win over the offense and the defensive members. Like Lorenzen, who plays at Connecticut. He came in from junior college the same way.
3rd and 5. And this pass incomplete, intended for Goodman. No flags on the play. It'll bring up a 4th down. It looks like Cincinnati's going to stay on the field, at least for the moment.
Punt.
Now their punting unit comes out.
Yeah, Dominic Goodman looked like he got tripped. In a game of first half of missed opportunities of good field position.
What's going on here, Coach? All of a sudden, this has turned into a defensive standstill. Are these teams the same ones that average better than 40 points per game? This one heading into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line for Louisville.
Give them time, Dave. Give them time.
They're just taking a brief rest, right? 4:52 remaining. Don't forget, for everything that you need to know about college sports, log on. It's ESPNU.com. ESPNU.com. It is your source, folks, for all things college sports. If you want to know anything about college sports in America, just log on to ESPNU.com.
All 5 possessions in this quarter have ended in punts.
Now Braum feels a little pressure, gets it out to Bolin on a screen. Bolin, he rumbles up past the 40-yard line, and Bolin almost to midfield. What a well-designed play for the Cardinals.
Hey, Dave, that was a great call by Charlie Stubbs, the offensive coordinator. When your quarterback on the last series, he got hit, got sacked a couple times, got pressured, come right back with the screen. Bolin is a bowling ball.
He really is, and good vision as he goes down the field, weaves his way for 28 yards.
And when you get a screen, you have to read the blocks of the offensive lineman.
Braum straight back. His pass is completed again. This time he goes to his tight end, Scott Kuhn. And Kuhn gets it across midfield to the 45 of Cincinnati.
Everybody talked about Cincinnati's defense having trouble with crossing routes. Here's what Brian Brown comes back with, because Louisville's looking at those tapes. They know they have problems with it.
Almost picked. Wow. Mickens came up from his cornerback spot. He almost had his 5th pick of the year.
Boy, he has speed. He read this play from the snap. He's breaking on this hitch. Quick hitch.
Boy, 2 good looks at it. Mickens all upset with himself. He almost had his 5th pick. He's also recovered a fumble. So now 3rd and 3. Braum again. Boy, he had a wide open receiver, but dropping the football for Louisville is number 9, Woodney Terrain, a cornerback normally.
Boy, it's right in his hands. It's high, but he's still catchable. I mean, he catches the football. He runs for a while. Cincinnati's got to be ready for a fake right here. Anytime you get past the 50.
Let me change that. It's not Terrain, it's Chris Vaughn. They use double numbers for Louisville, and it's Vaughn, the wide receiver on offense. Vaughn, who made that drop. Vaughn hasn't caught a pass all year.
No.
And that's a huge drop. Louisville now has dropped the ball twice on 3rd down conversion.
Stay consistent.
Yeah.
That was one that he needed.
You're right. Craig Thorpe, he's kind of had a scowl on his face pretty much since September 15th when they lost to Kentucky. Since that moment, you have seen a consistent look for Craig Thorpe. He is not happy. He wants to get this thing righted. He was extremely successful at Tulsa. Yeah. He is a very, very good coach.
No, I agree with you, Dave. He's a good young coach. Everything will come together in time.
So from their own 6-yard line, a loss here of a couple of yards as we get you to Lowell Galindo. Lowell, what's coming up at halftime?
Well, it took 3 overtimes, but it looks like we will have a new #1 team when the BCS standings come out. Also, some great games coming up. USC, they bounced back from a loss last week, breaking in their new quarterback. And Boston College, Notre Dame will tell you how Matt Ryan did with his Heisman stock coming up at the half.
All right, LG.
The L train. You have to remember that.
I watched you guys on Inside the Polls this week. I can't wait to see the spirited discussion this next week after LSU goes down. Mock. Somehow he weaves himself out to the 10-yard line. I don't know how he found a seam in the traffic there.
But he didn't throw the ball in traffic. That's, again, a veteran. He didn't make the bad throw and get the ball tipped and picked off.
Sideline Louisville.
You talked about the scowl on Steve Kragthorpe. He's going to have a bigger one right now because they're going to try to get him moving back. And Mock sets up, doesn't throw the football, does the wise thing. When in doubt, tuck it and run.
Gives himself a chance on 3rd down. They're 3 for 7, the Bearcats on 3rd down, facing a 3rd and 6 here. They need to get just past the 16. Mock throwing on the run. This one incomplete. Good coverage by Louisville. They had everybody smothered on that play.
You're right, Dave. And Louisville is going to get the ball in good field position with 2 timeouts left. So they're in business right here. Ben Mock scrambles to the right. The receiver's got to keep moving with him. Just threw it away.
Well, here's Huber now kicking from his own end zone. This is a short kick. And it takes a Louisville bounce straight out of bounds. Great field position now for the Cardinals. Only a 32-yard punt for Huber, who again has been averaging better than 50 yards per punt this year. Player is down for Cincinnati, down at the 12-yard line, trying to get a number. Right now there's a big discussion going on between Mock and Kelly as well, as the offense really has stalled over their last 3 drives.
Really has, and give Louisville's defense credit. We talk about them when they give up yardage, and give them credit. Mike Cassidy making some adjustments and trying to slow down this offense. You know, the thing that hasn't happened tonight for Louisville, they haven't gotten a big play yet. They've had 26 plays of 25 yards or more. Steve Kragthorpe is not a happy camper.
Not at all. He has been harping on those officials.
Hot dogs.
So Kragthorpe, though, he should be thrilled with his field position. He's at the Cincinnati 42. We finally can identify it's D'Angelo Smith, defensive back, who was down, now getting up under his own power and walking off the field. So that's good news for Cincinnati. Kind of shaken up, trying to keep Louisville out of the backfield. Never did get downfield, and then a very short punt by Huber.
26 plays of 25 yards or more, and when you take Douglas and you Rudia out of the lineup, that's tough. But Douglas is in the game tonight. I expect him to get a big play.
He had that one play on that first drive. Remember when he made the great cut down to the 10-yard line? That set up Louisville's only score. So now Douglas, he goes out wide right. And they throw it right into the middle of the field to Gary Barnidge, who last week caught the ball 8 times against Utah. And Barnidge takes it down to the 35 before Corey Smith could make the stop.
He's a great basketball player. Averaged 18 points, so you have an athlete at tight end in high school.
Rom now, here comes the blitz. Look at him get away from the traffic. And then he'll just throw the ball away. He just saved Louisville a good 15 yards.
I think you're looking at 2 plays here, Dave. Now, Steve Kragthorpe calling the plays. You're thinking you have 2 plays to pick up this first down. Still have your 2 timeouts.
Yeah, so time really not a factor. Not a factor at all with 2:02 to go and 2 timeouts. His concern now, that first down marker. And you're right. If they don't make it here, you would figure with this field position, they'd go for it on 4th down.
I'll tell you, I like Bolin now. He's a bowling ball.
Bolin set up in the backfield. Now he goes out. And this pass is completed to Harry Douglas. And that's enough for the first down. Ryan Manilak makes the stop. But they'll move the chains as the ball goes down to the 31.
Little crossing route by Douglas. Brian Brom, good protection, dumps the ball right over the middle. And the number 85, Douglas, first down, pitch and catch.
Already in the field goal range of Carmody. Brom across the middle. Pass is completed to Patrick Carter, and he's taken down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
They had a crossing route inside the linebackers, in front of the linebackers. All of a sudden, they throw right behind to Patrick Carter. Makes that catch. Here's the crossing routes, holds the linebackers. You throw right behind the linebackers to Carter.
It's a tough proposition going up against Brom, because if you put a lot of pressure on him, he's so good at adjusting to that. If you don't put pressure on him, he can sit back there and pick you apart. Here comes pressure. Flag is down, and this one is dumped at the feet of Scott Long and incomplete. Let's see what the flag is about.
Looked like Cincinnati either moved and were offside or...
Offsides, number 82 defense in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's Craig.
Yeah, Angelo Craig tried to get started too soon.
Well, we're at the students called the NIP, Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Sold out for this one. Along with Mike Gottfried and Melissa Knowles, I'm Dave Armstrong. Louisville trying to win the Keg of Nails for the 5th straight time. Cincinnati with now the longest winning streak in the country. LSU, they had the longest, but now it's Cincinnati. Theirs is currently the longest win streak in the land. There's a sack as Brom goes down. He held on to that ball just a little bit too long, and coming in to make the play for Louisville, coming in number 82, Angelo Craig, who was just called for that penalty.
And you can't forget about the run down here, because all of a sudden those pass rushers, Angelo Craig and Anthony Holk and Terrell Bird and Adam Hopple, just pinning their ears back.
It's the second sack for the Bearcats here tonight. So now 2nd and 10. Out of the backfield, here comes Bolin. He's inside the 10, stays on his feet to the 5-yard line. That'll be a first down. They'll stop the clock long enough to move the chains.
That's why pro coaches and scouts will like Brian Brom, because he can dump the football off to the underneath receiver here, Bolin. And he just does a real good job of finding the open guy.
Clock now moving. Bolin's got it. And he's tripped up at the 5, falls forward to the 3-yard line. And Louisville wondering, should we call a timeout? They do. They take one of their last 2 timeouts here with 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, good call, because you're on the 3-yard line right now. You have a pass play right here. That may stop the clock with the incomplete pass. If you complete it, you score. but you have one timeout left. You talked about Brown, and I think you're right. You know, I don't think many things are right, but
that I say.
But yeah, but no, I'm just kidding. But you said, and you brought up a good point, because I think Michael Hart, with 2 losses in his prediction over Notre Dame and the eyes and all that video, but Brom, if he wins this football game and tears it up the rest of the way, I mean, this guy's thrown 20 TD passes.
Yeah, he has.
Only 4 interceptions.
And he's averaging better than 400 yards passing per game.
And he is their offense, because their running game is not that good.
You can't blame him for the 3-3 record. He's been outstanding. All right, 2nd and goal. The ball sitting at the 3.
Cincinnati wants a timeout. Didn't get it.
Brom into the end zone, wide open, touchdown, Patrick Carter. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, that's holding on Cincinnati in the secondary. Cincinnati's coaches all wanted a timeout. They didn't match up well.
Holding, number 6 defense. The penalties automatically decline. Touchdown, Louisville.
They tried to get the attention of the official, couldn't get it. Brian Brown again looks up, sets up, looks to the right, all of a sudden comes back to Patrick Carter on the left side. Big throw.
He is so good, and you know, when we were talking to Brian Kelly, he said, I don't think there's any quarterback in the country that sees the field better than Brian Brom. He can go sideline to sideline. That's rare for a quarterback at this level.
It is. And he's strong. He's 6'4", almost 230.
So Brom leads the Cardinals. Remember that short punt that set up great field position for the Cardinals. But let's give the defense for Louisville some credit too. On 3 straight possessions for Cincinnati, they were able to stop the Bearcats, who really were unstoppable through the first quarter.
Yeah, the penalties have hurt Cincinnati, the Bearcats, and just all of a sudden seem to get out of their game.
So Brian Brom leads the way, and Louisville able to tie the score with 15 seconds to go till halftime. Don't forget, Lowell Galindo, Tom Luganville, all set up in the studio, ready to go. I'm going to show you a new number 1. Maybe, certainly, probably will be after LSU loses in triple overtime tonight. USC, they didn't win impressively, but they won. And BC and Notre Dame highlights as well.
The L Train needs to give us an update on Cal. We need to know how Cal's doing, because
and Oklahoma and Missouri.
I think Cal's behind, but I'm waiting for the L Train to tell me that.
It's 10-7 I'm hearing now in my headset.
10-7.
Cal down.
Man, they could go down. Ohio State could be the number 1 team in the country.
How about South Florida?
South Florida could be too. They'd be my choice because they beat better teams than Ohio State.
Well, West Virginia most
Auburn,
impressively.
West Virginia.
Yep.
Number 49, Torrey Cornett.
So with LSU losing, the Cincinnati 9-game win streak, the longest in the NCAA currently. I bet you could probably go around and ask that who has the longest winning streak in the country currently, and I'll bet you not more than 20% of the fans nationwide would know it's Cincinnati. But if they're watching ESPNU right now, now they know it. Now they know. See, it pays to watch this network. Pass is caught. Goodman, he's across midfield to the 45. Is time going to run out? 1 second remaining. And a timeout taken here by Cincinnati.
Got 1 second to throw it in the end zone.
Hey, and we're not going to be the ones to say that won't happen after what we saw at Army last week.
Hey, I saw the greatest catch last week. I don't know about you, but that Army catch on the Hail Mary and the Our Father and all those was big.
They had all their prayers answered.
They had all their prayers.
Yeah, I mean, they threw up a Hail Mary, folks. If you didn't see the end of the Army game last week, end of regulation, threw up a Hail Mary in the end zone. It was deflected, and out of nowhere, The Army receiver comes, somehow stays in bounds to score the touchdown.
Tulane probably worked on that this week and said, now bat the ball down.
That's exactly
Do not
right.
tip the ball. You have to bat the ball down.
Well, here's where they're going to protect the arm of Ben Maw. They don't want him to throw this Hail Mary. They're going to bring in Tony Pike to throw the Hail Mary. Tony Pike, a senior, 6'6", 225. He's going to toss it up there for grabs. Roll out to get a little more time. Yeah, he might have been by the line of scrimmage. Into the end zone. It's intercepted. So that's not going to help the quarterback efficiency rating of Tony Pike. And that's the way the first half comes to a close. Craig Thorpe, I think he wants time put back on the clock. I don't know why. I mean, there was only 1 second left when that play.
No, he wants out of there.
So he's out of there with a 14-14 tie as Louisville comes back in the closing seconds of the first half to tie it up in Cincinnati. Now let's go to Louisville.
That's right. Coach Kelly told me that his guys have got to do a better job up front offensively. They have to do a better job of protecting their quarterback and give him time to throw the ball. Now, when Coach Crackthorpe came back in, he said, you know, I was not very proud of how my guys did with defense in the first quarter of the game, but the second quarter, they really stepped up. One thing we've got to remember to do is to protect our quarterback. Dave?
All right, we'll see if either team can protect their quarterback and get things going here in the second half. It's Brom on offense first as the Cardinals start at their own 20-yard line. Brom the give to Bolin. Look at him weave his way through traffic, and he's able to pick up 4 tough yards on first down.
And that's a good play call. You may only get 4 yards, but you slow down the defensive lineman. You punch them. You give your offensive lineman a chance to come off the ball and knock them in the mouth, and then pass protection becomes easier.
Will either of these coaches open things up a little bit more in the second half?
I think Louisville's going to try to get a big play. They're going to try to get something deep on a streak or post.
Brom, he throws that pattern across the middle again. This one to Douglas, who is ripped down by Andre Revels. And he'll be shy of the first down. So when you look at the first half numbers, rushing yards, again, only 18 rushing yards for the Cardinals. And penalties really cost Louisville in that first half.
And that big thing, the 2 turnovers by Cincinnati hurt them because they were moving. They were down about to 10 when they fumbled the first one.
3rd and 1. Brom on the keeper. He'll have the first down as he goes across the 30 up to the 31.
Cincinnati's so good against the run. Leading the Big East in rushing defense, only giving up 85 yards rushing. I like that call because you're not taking the ball off the line of scrimmage, handing it off.
Well, last week we saw all passing, no rushing. And that's not a good omen as far as Louisville is concerned. When you look at it, in their 3 losses, they are averaging just 67 yards on the ground. In their 3 wins, 279 yards on the ground. So they've come out with really the spirit of we're going to run the ball here in the second half. More running plays than passing plays.
And that's going to be a problem for Cincinnati because if they get the run going, all of a sudden the play action pass follows. And Bolin is a good back. He's from Germantown, Ohio, so you know he wants to do well here in Ohio.
Certainly does. 2nd and 2 now facing the Cardinals. It's kind of a 2-headed monster. Louisville wants to run the ball, but Cincinnati historically this year, they've been great against the run. They have given up only 85 yards per game on average, and last week against Ray Rice of Rutgers, they limited him to just 94 yards on 34 carries.
Yeah, they're good on defense. They got a lot of 250, 260-pound defensive linemen. Joe Tracy, who's the defensive guy, moves those guys around. It's hard to hit a moving target.
Angelo Craig, who takes over for Trevor Anderson, who went to Michigan State along with Mark D'Antonio. On this 3rd down play, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. And that is Douglas, who could not hang on to the ball, and that'll do it as Louisville's attack stalls at the 40-yard line.
Looked like Douglas lost sight of the quarterback. He made the umpire maybe in his way. All of a sudden, see, he lost track of the football. He gets behind the umpire. He can't see the quarterback.
You see, he stopped, and that probably threw off the timing of that play. Douglas stopped his route, and Brom was throwing to where he thought Douglas was going to go. Douglas stopped, and then the pass was in front of him. 41-yard punt here by Getchie. So that was a little bit of miscommunication. I don't know if 2 weeks off hurts that kind of play or not, but Douglas, he kind of stopped looking for that open place in the zone, and Brom wasn't on the same page.
Yeah. Should have been completed. The change should have moved. Now they're on defense.
All right, look at Mock's numbers again, eerily similar to Brom's in that first half. Mock immediately comes up and changes the play. Mock straight back to throw. Boy, that was a dangerous pass.
Wow.
He throws it out on the wing to Goodman, and terrain was draped all over him. I don't know what Mock saw where he thought that guy was open.
Looking one way and threw the other with his feet.
Oh, and incomplete there, 2nd and 10.
They have to, don't forget their run either. They ran the ball well in the first quarter.
I keep waiting for Cincinnati too, coach, to speed things up offensively, to go more no huddle, quicker with their offense. Throwing on the run, and again this one too far for Goodman.
That's a play where Ben Mock may have taken off with this football. Gets outside on the edge. May should have ran the football and got about 5 yards.
One of the things that made Mock so impressive last week against Rutgers is when he did scramble, coach, he still looked downfield. But I agree with you on that one. It looked like he had at least 5 yards of room to run.
He's looking to throw the ball all the time.
3 for 8 on 3rd down for Cincinnati. But remember, the last 3 drives have stalled. They've had to punt. Here comes the shovel pass. And that will be shy of the 1st down marker as Butler Benton is tripped up.
That was a good tackle right there because the shovel draw has hurt Louisville all night.
Terrence Butler making the play. Look at number 46.
Mar Miles, number 22, comes off a block and makes a good play. He is a very good linebacker, Miles.
All of a sudden, this has turned into a punting game. Both defenses have stepped up in this contest. Better punt this time from Huber. And a fair catch by Trent Guy. And so Louisville will restart their offense at their own 30-yard line. For each team, nothing doing offensively so far to start the second half in a game tied at 14.
Who's moved up?
Seats all of 35,000. Used to be sort of a cavern in here. But now you can't get a seat. They're wedged in here with a shoehorn. Huge play defensively here. A fumble of the ball by Bolin. It looks like Cincinnati's got the ball. Is that a catch and a fumble, or is that just an incomplete pass?
They're going to have to replay that because I don't know if he had the football.
Anthony Williams came up and put a lick on Bolin. And so the ruling on the field is catch and fumble. And right now Cincinnati's got the ball for the moment, but I think this play will be reviewed.
Referee signaled Louisville had the ball. Bolin really took a shot.
Oh, he's got it. He had the ball, dropped it, and then somehow Louisville gets the ball back. He took a step, made a football move, and Louisville somehow recovered this ball when it looked like there were nothing but Bearcats around it.
Tried to throw the screen. They're going to look at this.
Yeah, this is now under official review. What it'll mean basically is a yard.
No, they're talking about resetting the 25-second clock. Not going to review it.
All right. So it wouldn't have mattered much anyway. It was going to be Louisville ball. It's either 2nd and 11 or 2nd and 10.
Here's where it looks like they're going to have a play action pass here.
Fake one way on the hitch and go. Getting it to Douglas. He's got it. Perfect pass from Brom. as he goes out of bounds at the 39-yard line. D'Angelo Smith, pretty good coverage, but a perfect pass by Brom.
Everything tonight has been short. All of a sudden, Brian Brom said, I'll pump fake, and Douglas took off and made a great catch on a great throw. Finally, a deep ball by Louisville.
33-yard pass play. Yeah, that was the first real deep pass. Remember the one earlier, Bolin went for 28 yards, but that was on a screen pass. Yeah. That's the first time Brom really challenged him through the air. Now here comes Anthony Allen. He tries the right side, and good yardage on first down to the 31-yard line. A pickup of 7.
Anthony Allen had a -3 yards rushing versus Utah. Now in high school, he was a running back, but also a middle linebacker, so you know he has some toughness.
Officially a gain of only 5. So 2nd and 5. His knee was down, and they mark it back to the 33. Brom changes the play. 4 seconds on the play clock. Brom dances around. The pass is complete to Patrick Carter. Mickens was right there defensively, but a good catch by Carter. Now let's get you to Lowell Galindo for an update on Cal.
Yeah, well, Oregon State is smelling that upset over number 2 Cal. Beavers' first possession of the second half. That's Evanson Bernard, 20-14 Beavers. Dave, we could have a new number 1 and 2 in the nation.
Boy, how about that, Lowell? And of course, you know, Coach, you wanted the Cal highlights. You're getting them. And Oregon State, the same team that was beaten by the Bearcats, 34-3. Play defensively here. Bolin falls forward for a few. He gets it to the 23-yard line. Tolbert was there defensively.
I like the play calling though on this drive because you have toughness. You run the football. You mix up. You got a deep throw. You got some short throws by Brian Brown. Really trying to challenge Cincinnati's great defense in every area.
Crowd growing a bit antsy here in Cincinnati. They're not used to seeing their Bearcats in a tight game at home. Every opponent so far this year, they've blown out. Douglas with those quick feet. He dances around to the 20-yard line, but it's going to be 3rd and about 6 yards from there. Don't forget, coming up later tonight, college football on ESPNU continues. The Rattlers of Florida A&M take on the South Carolina State Bulldogs. It's college football primetime presented by Citi tonight, right after our game. Well, a 3rd and 6 here. Definitely in field goal range. But you know Brian Brom and the Cardinals want much more than that. 2 for 8 on 3rd down tonight for Louisville. And Brom goes down. Sacked from behind. Angelo Craig again with another sack, his 2nd of the game. That's the 3rd for the Bearcats tonight.
That was big, Dave. He had an open receiver. Brian Brom, Angelo Craig comes pushing the pocket. It beats the block of George Bussey.
Well, it makes the field goal a little bit tougher for Art Carmody, who is 7 for 9 in field goals this year. He's lining this one up for a 44-yard attempt. The kick is on its way, and it's no good. He pushed it. Carmody, who was the Lou Groza winner last year, he pushes it, and Craig Thorpe can't be happy about that. Louisville comes away empty-handed.
Big play was that sack.
The sack pushed him back another 7 yards, just out of the range, perhaps, of Art Carmody, whose longest field goal this year, 44. That's where he misses from, and we stay tied at 14. And miss from beyond 40 yards in his career. Of course, he had that 51-yarder last year against Temple.
He still could win this game with a kick.
That's right.
So this may go to the wire.
Of course, there was that time, Coach, you had those 7 interceptions in one game.
Right.
Came back to lead your team to victory. Now,
Got a lot of help.
We're going to see a flag there, but no flag. Not much gain either.
Is there any reason you brought that up?
Well, I was just thinking, you know, you have to battle through adversity, as it was my point.
Okay.
The 7 interceptions that you had in one game, you battled through that. You kept your chin up. Of course, they didn't have really
my chin
any other
was down.
You looked a lot like Carmody.
They didn't have anybody else to put in.
Well, anyway, you won. How'd you win with 7 interceptions?
Good tailback.
There you go. Mock. Oh, my. A wide open Barnett, and he simply dropped it.
He got turned around. Marcus Barnett, the freshman, got turned around from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Got turned around, took his eyes off the football.
I liked what we saw right before they went to the replay, Coach. You immediately saw a shot of Ben Mock pointing at himself.
Right.
That was my fault.
Underthrew it.
Took the pressure away from the freshman, the redshirt freshman Barnett, the guy they call Bones because he's only 6'1", weighs about $160. Now 3rd and 11. That's good leadership by Mock. Well, that's completion and a fight for the first down by Goodman. He did not have it and somehow stayed on his feet and battled woody terrain and picked up the terrain enough for the first down.
Well, you're right. Dominic Goodman has been Johnny on the spot tonight for the Bearcats. Just works to get that first down.
Good play by Goodman. Scored a touchdown earlier in this game. Now the give here is to Moore. He finds a hole on the left side all the way across midfield. The Bearcats are moving again for the first time this half. You consider their first 4 possessions, they were just a machine. Their last 4 possessions, 4 punts.
Greg Moore, big strong back. Good blocking by the offensive line. A great block by Rodriguez and Jurek.
This one tipped up in the air. And it was hanging in the air for the longest of times and then falls incomplete.
Ben Mock doesn't get a lot of velocity on the football.
You think that's because of the injury?
I think it is. And the injury, but he gets it there. Now he underthrows balls and he hangs them up there every now and then so defensive backs can break on those footballs.
He's like the pitcher who's gone through rotator cuff surgery and comes back more of a control specialist than a fastball guy. Whoops.
That's what he can do for you. Change the count, bark out the signals, draw the defense across.
Prior to the snap, offsides. Number 95 defense. Contact in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty.
Maurice Mitchell.
What happens is all of a sudden you get caught. They use the same cadence. All of a sudden a veteran quarterback will change up the cadence, bark it out, put some bark into it, and bring them across.
And then Jurek, the center, as soon as he saw the guy go across, he immediately snaps the ball. Mock, he wants it all. And this pass is incomplete. They were juggling for it out of bounds. Barnett, he had a hand on it for the moment. And also out there, Richard Ragland on the play.
Yeah, good job by the Louisville secondary here. Staying home, safety over the top. Really did a pretty good job. Ragland.
Well, these two teams, this is not normal for them to struggle like that on 3rd down conversion. Cincinnati 42% on the year. We told you Louisville over 50%.
Goodman is his 3rd down guy.
Instead, a quick hitter across the middle as he's able to find Marshawn Gilliard, the man they call Marty. How about the story on Marty Gilliard, who lost his scholarship, literally lived out of his car for a couple of weeks while he was working 3 jobs to pay the fare.
Boy, he's got perseverance, and it's paid off.
So Gilliard keeps the drive alive. And now a big run by Moore. Lamar Miles finally makes the stop. There's a flag down on the play.
It's going to come back. It's on the Bearcats.
Number 1 offense. Number 1 never was set for 1 second prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So Gilliard, who made the catch on the 3rd down play, guilty of the crime there. And that big run by Moore will come back.
Right now, you feel like Cincinnati's back in the rhythm on offense.
How much of that maybe dictated by the miss of Carmody on the field goal? Kind of shifted the momentum back in Cincinnati's behalf.
Good play mix right here for the Bearcats.
All the receivers at the top of your screen. Now Moore comes the other way. That's misdirection. They sent all the receivers to the top of the screen. They brought Moore the other way. Crowd wants some extracurricular added onto that. No flag, but all the way down to the 24-yard line before Willie Williams could make the stop.
Bearcats impressive on this drive right here. Doing all the right things. Lob to Moore. Gets some good blocks. Missed tackles. He gets downfield.
Pass completed on the wing. And going out of bounds on the play is Armand Binns. John Russell forced him out there.
You talk about a Denny's all night open. I mean, there was no corner over there. Way off.
Armand Binns, a true freshman out of Pasadena, California. Boy, a really good looking drive starting at their own 27. Now the 10th play of this drive. And coming right toward the student section. Mock, who had nowhere to go, and then all of a sudden he is greeted rather rudely, you might say, by Maurice Mitchell.
Looked like he was trying to get the ball to Moore, and Moore got caught up in some traffic inside.
There's a player down for Louisville, down at the 20-yard line. I couldn't get a clear number. It might be Peanut Whitehead, though. It looks like it is Peanut Whitehead, a backup defensive end.
You know, when you look at Louisville, they've had so many injuries this year. Steve Kragthorpe has not alibied, not talked about the injuries, but they have had guys go down right and left on offense and defense.
Yeah, they have. You know, you look at the importance of this game to both of these teams, Coach, and it's huge. The impact of this game is going to carry on for the rest of the season for each of these teams. For Cincinnati, they're trying to keep this undefeated season alive, keep their momentum going, go to 7-0. They haven't been in this kind of water since 1954. The last time they started that year with 8 straight wins. That was the last year of Sid Gilman here. Then they lost their last 2 games. For Louisville, they were a preseason top 10 program. They've lost 3 games this year, but yet if they can win this game here tonight, now they feel like at 1-1 in the Big East, they're right back in the hunt.
Oh, you're right. This is a big football game. Cincinnati's got Pittsburgh next week. Then they go to South Florida. Louisville has to have this win.
3rd down, 3 to go. Mock looking into the end zone. Touchdown! Wow, what a play to Marcus Barnett.
Tell you what they did, Dave. They faked the screen out there, and Louisville's defensive backs, all 3 of them, bit and froze. There's a screen fake, and then all of a sudden, wide open.
Love the sign, Mock and Awe, and you might add mission accomplished. A 17-yard touchdown pass from Mock to Marcus Barnett, who has now 2 touchdowns in this game and 8 on the year. The extra point is good, and the momentum in this game is completely shifted. Louisville on that last drive, they had a field goal go wide left, and now Mock brings them right down and scores on this touchdown play to Marcus Barnett. Cincinnati retakes the lead. What a resurgence by this Bearcat program. They've almost come out of nowhere. This place used to be cavernous, and now all of a sudden you can't get a ticket to Bearcat football. The turnaround has been nothing short of remarkable. And stopped shy of the 20-yard line is Trent Guy. Let's go down to Melissa Knowles, who's standing by with the athletic director, Mike Thomas.
Now, your school is known for more of being a basketball school. How has the success of this football program impacted the school?
It's been magnificent. It's really engaged the community. It's engaged its campus, our student body. I couldn't have imagined. I thought we'd be competitively successful. I just didn't realize that they'd react this way, and it's been wonderful.
That's right. You had kids camping out just to get tickets. What was that like for you?
Well, it was something that it was a Kodak moment. We had 1,000 kids sleep out to get tickets for this game, and that's something they've never done in the history of this school. So that was a nice problem to have.
Now, Coach Kelly told me the other day that he was bringing pizzas to the kids. The kids love him. They call him BK. He's even talking about a little expansion going on here at Nippert Stadium. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, actually, we've done an initial study. There's more studies to come. We've got to drill down a little deeper, but we know that we need to make Nippert Stadium bigger, not just for our student body, but for all the people who want to come watch UC football.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. Dave, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Melissa. Yeah, their options are few here, Coach. I mean, you really need a bigger stadium. This is the smallest stadium in the Big East. It only seats 35,000. You'd like to add at least 10,000 more. You'd love to keep the facility on campus. The only other option for you really is to move to Paul Brown Stadium, brand new, beautiful stadium in downtown Cincinnati.
I would not move.
I wouldn't
keep
either.
It right here. This is beautiful. It's the stadium in the middle of campus. Where can you find that? This is a good stadium. You have to drill deeper. He had to say, drill deeper, find the answer, but
drill
keep
deeper.
this stadium.
Yeah, they did that once before. The old Carson Field, they had to sink the field down about 20 feet to add some more seats. I don't know if they can do that again or just add more to the top of this stadium. We'll see how they improve things here in Cincinnati. It's a good problem to have. Pass completed on the wing as we quickly get you to Lowell Galindo in the studio.
Controversial ending between Georgia and Vanderbilt. 3 seconds left. Brandon Coutu hits the 37-yard field goal to give Georgia the win, but then the guys celebrate. What do you make of this, Tom?
Well, Mark Richt wasn't happy about it, but you talk about parity in college football. How about Georgia celebrating because they beat Vandy on the road?
20-17 the final. Georgia wins.
Yeah, Georgia was, a win over Vandy. And then going crazy, and the coach is like in there saying, hey, stop, come on. We're going to dance around the field. We should have won this game. We're ranked 24th in the country. Good run here as Trent Guy, he's able to get all the way near midfield. He goes out of bounds at the 46-yard line before Mike Mickens could force him out there.
Trent Guy made this run on speed. He runs to the left, gets the handoff, they time it up, nothing there. Whoops, I'm going back the other way. And then wide open because Cincinnati pursues so good. He found an opening on the backside.
So Trent Guy, 22-yard play at the 46 now. Play action. Brom looking all the way into the middle of the field, and this pad is caught. Wow, what a catch! Tremendous play by Scott Long. Long was shaken up earlier in this game. He's able to haul that one in at the 12.
Boy, you talk about a great catch now. Scott Long from Southport, North Carolina, reaches out here and just gives every effort to catch this football. Brian Brom again with good vision, moving that head around, trying to find the open receiver. He made that happen.
Long, he kind of duplicated his last name. He elongated on the catch. He stretched out as far as he could. And now the give is to Anthony Allen. And he pushes it inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line. We talked about Brian Brom stepping up, wants to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. He has on this drive. That last play went for 42 yards to Long. And now Brom, 22 of 30 for 247 yards.
Dave, they have to finish it off. They can't settle for 3 here because all of a sudden Cincinnati's back in rhythm on offense.
2nd and 5. They can get a first down inside the 3. Brom. Everyone's covered. Brom rolls out for some more time and then is ripped out of bounds. Wow, Angelo Craig, he got there in a hurry. Man, did he close some ground.
He is a very impressive defensive lineman. Angelo Craig from Cleveland, Ohio, 6'5", He can close. You watch that closing speed. That's what you wanted in a defensive lineman and a linebacker.
3 sacks tonight for Craig. Came in with only 1 all year. 4 for the team. Now here's Louisville facing a 3rd and 6. Brom looking at the middle of the field. Nothing there. Rolling out into the back of the end zone. Touchdown. That is all Brian Brom as he gets it to Patrick Carter.
Well, you're right. You're right, Dave. Brian Brom made this happen because he bought time for Patrick Carter to get open. You don't see Patrick Carter back there because he's moving right now with Brian Brom. And all of a sudden he comes open, touchdown pass. Patrick Carter's played well.
I'm putting Brom back in the Heisman race.
He's still got another quarter.
I'm just saying, his numbers are staggering.
He's in there, but don't crown him yet.
I'm not crowning him. I'm just saying he's back in the race. I'm not saying he should win the Heisman, but he should be back in the discussion.
I agree. He is. Brian Brom with a great effort here, but give Patrick Carter credit. He didn't quit on the play. He kept moving with his quarterback. When your quarterback moves to the left, you move to the left.
How impressive was that throw, though, against his body with that much zip on the ball?
Getting hit.
Brian Brom with yet another touchdown pass. He goes 6 plays, 83 yards in a minute 38. That's an answer.
That was the same kind of drive that Cincinnati had to score and go in the lead. Louisville answered. So we got a great football game here. 18 minutes left and great game.
Now we're talking, right? Now we're talking offense. Now we got the shootout going. There for a while there, this thing had settled into 3 and out.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. That's what it's all about. It's about good defense, good offense, good special teams. You want a well-rounded game.
Brian Kelly talking with Cedric Tolbert, saying, look, he's coming inside out all the time. You got to be ready for that. Goodman. He's taken down at the 22-yard line as we get you back to LG, the L train in the studio. That's a quick strike there for OU, and that takes the heart out of things for the Tigers. I also like that Bradford kid, Sam Bradford from Oklahoma. Talk about a good freshman. Good scramble here by Mock as he gets it up to the 30-yard line.
Missouri's 1-16 since 1984 against Oklahoma. So
here in the Big East,
17.
This is how important this is for Louisville. Here they are 3-3, and everybody's like, Louisville's out of the picture. Hold the phone, folks. If Louisville wins here tonight, which would be a huge win for them, and for Cincinnati, it'd send them to 1-1 in the Big East. Now you've really started to create a logjam, and then Louisville can start thinking we can create a lot of thunder ourselves. What a play there by Goodman. I'm just trying to think of an adjective to describe your favorite player's son.
Great. He makes good concentration and makes a good catch, pretty good coverage. No reaction from the to the ball.
So we'll call him Greatman instead of Goodman?
It could be.
All right.
Could be. Hey, I want to go back to the 8-team league. And if you're a football coach in this league, this is great. You're in an 8-team league. You got a chance to be this. If you're a basketball coach in this league, it's lousy.
Yeah, you got too many teams.
Too many teams, and they're all good, and they all have great coaches, and somebody's got to lose.
One of the things that you fought
for. Snap. False start. Number 56 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
When you were here in the early 80s, you guys weren't affiliated with a conference. And that was something you knew you needed. They went finally into the Conference USA. And then, as you mentioned, the big move to the Big East is really what has propelled Cincinnati to this top 15 ranking. And who knows, if they win here tonight, they very well could move into the top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah.
but the Big East is really the calling card for Cincinnati right now.
Absolutely. And it's a good fit for Cincinnati. It's a good fit for the Big East. Another one for Goodman, and that's a first down. Boy, I like how low he got to accept that pass.
But you know, somewhere along the line, your corners have to challenge. Here, they're too far off for Louisville.
Look at the total yards in this game, almost equal. When you look at the total yards passing, only 20 yards, only 11 yards separate Braum and Mock. Braum 255, Mock 244. Mock on the wing. That was sort of a dangerous pass. Might have gotten away with it. Goodman with another grab.
In the yards after the catch, he doesn't go down. Former high school quarterback in Coleraine does not go down. He plays like his father. His father never stopped, never quit, never slowed down. This guy doesn't either.
11 catches tonight.
What's that old saying? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
That's right.
Delay a game here.
Prior to the snap, substitution of actions. Defense, 12-man formation, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, they all caught it. There was 2 officials in the back, caught it right away.
Part of Brian Kelly's plan to disrupt the defense, go to more of this no huddle, and it really makes it tough on the defense to substitute. Now on 2nd and 1. And the handoff to Jacob Ramsey, a sophomore. He's got the first down. He gets inside the 25 to the 24.
Yeah, maybe the last play of the third quarter, but Steve Kragthorpe's defense right now has to stiffen up and hold the Bearcats to a field goal attempt. I don't think they can continue to give up as many yards.
We're going to get another playoff before the end of the third quarter. Mock's pass, that's a one hopper to Ernest Jackson, incomplete. 4 seconds left in the third quarter.
No pressure now on Mock. You haven't seen any pressure. He's been standing back there. So he has wide open receivers. They got to figure a way, empty set where he's the only guy back there. It's hard to pressure him, but you still have to find a way.
Fumble. Well, you could see that one developing as that ball was coming out from the time the guy was hit.
I thought he was lateral on that. I don't know if he fumbled it. Yeah, he's Brian Kelly saying, put it away.
Yeah, that's Barnett.
Cover the point.
So Barnett, he fumbles the last play of the third quarter, carrying that ball much too loosely. He loses the handle. It'll be Louisville ball when we come back. City on the U. Louisville and Cincinnati start this fourth quarter tied at 21. Third turnover you just saw from Cincinnati. So now they're plus 12 on the other, or plus 15 coming into tonight's game, which was best in the country. And they have turned those turnovers into 100 points. But tonight, 3 turnovers for the Bearcats, and that leaves a sour taste in the mouth of Brian Kelly.
And 2 in scoring position where they were going to get points.
That's right, 1 at the 10 and then this one at the 17. Now Braum, his pass incomplete. Intended over on the wing to Long. Mickens was there defensively.
Tell you one thing about Mickens now. Mickens is a very good corner. Cover guy, I mean, he's receivers are challenging him. He's standing right on top of them, has great speed and reactions.
Second and 10. Brom, the handoff. That goes to Allen, and he is stopped at the 21-yard line. And it'll bring up a 3rd and about 6.
3rd down, you have to be good. That's the quarterback down. Quarterback has to make plays on 3rd down. Brian Brom right now, he's played well. He has to make plays on 3rd down to move those chains. It's quarterback down.
They need the 28 for the first down. And you see the 3rd down numbers for Louisville tonight, not good. They're normally 50% on the year. Brom forced to scramble. The pass is complete, but now here comes Cincinnati. The pass completed to Allen, and then he had absolutely nowhere to go. He was hit by pretty much the entire Bearcat team.
Yeah, give Joe Tracy, the defensive coordinator for Cincinnati, credit. That's 3 out of 11 on 3rd down. Even if he would have broke away there, he would not have made the first down.
For the Bearcats, they came in a pack that time. A good punt here by Getchy. He forces Nakamura all the way back to his own 25, dancing around looking for some room, able to get up to the 31-yard line, and we're able to go to the studio and Lowell Galindo. All right, Oregon State trailing by 1, but driving. Remember, LSU already knocked off tonight by Kentucky, or it will be a new number 1. Who will it be? Ohio State, a good chance to move up if Cal loses tonight. South Florida, another chance.
I'm going to say Cal.
I say Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State because of tradition.
Yep.
But who have they beaten? I'll tell you who they beat. 1 AA team in Youngstown. Beat Kent today handily. They beat 1 team with a winning record in Division I. Now, do you put that team number 1? Now, I know they're playing great, and they're playing great with their schedule. But do you put them number 1 ahead of South Florida and Cal, who have beaten some pretty good teams?
Now, Cal will be number 1 if they don't lose tonight. Mock. That was a play designed for him to run as he gets it up to the 45. Ragland able to make the stop. So LSU, they lose. They'll drop out of that top spot. And it's up for grabs between Cal and Ohio State. Boston College, another team that could move up.
South Florida moves. South Carolina's going to move.
And you know who else is right back in the hunt? Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's in great shape.
They've got to polish off Missouri tonight. Tigers, of course, one of those remaining unbeatens. There were 11 going into this weekend. And we've already seen LSU lose, UConn losing. Cal, they could be another one to fall by the wayside. Missouri could be one. We could lose a few. Will anybody finish the season unbeaten this year?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I don't think so, unless it's Ohio State, because they have a pretty good schedule.
Yeah, they do, but you know, they still got to get through some teams in the Big Ten, and then
Wisconsin, they're struggling.
Michigan.
They have them at home.
Michigan's playing
on
better.
the road.
Michigan's playing better now.
Penn State on the road. That'll be tough. They got Michigan State at home.
Maurice Mitchell slow in getting up for Louisville. It'll be a big loss for the Cardinals. He's been a force at defensive end tonight.
I'm impressed with Cincinnati. And they keep the pressure on Louisville. Good defense. Not a great defense, but a real good defense.
I think what helps them tonight is the fact that they played a tight game last week at Rutgers.
Right.
So they were able to get that out of their system. And they know they can come through in the clutch in a tight contest. Not much room to run there, maybe a yard. That'll be it.
I said at the opening, it was a circle the wagon game for Louisville. Knowing the old Western movies, when they knew the charge was coming against them.
Okay.
Circle the wagons.
I agree, Coach, because you look at the rest of their schedule. They've got to go to UConn next week. And they still have to go to West Virginia and South Florida. They play all those games on the road. Well, 3rd and 2. Ramsey. He's got the first down, I think.
I think he's short.
I don't think so. I think they're going to mark him enough for the first down. Moselle Axon making the stop. No, now where they mark the ball, he is short. And they move that ball back the other side of the 45, so it is 4th and inches. And you look at Cincinnati, they go to Pittsburgh next week. All right, let's look at this 4th down play. Mock, I'm not sure. He tried to go around the right side, and I don't think he made it either.
If he puts it at the left foot, he doesn't make it.
That, I think, is going to be inches shy of the 1st down marker. They'll measure.
It's close. Cincinnati tried to get up right away at the line of scrimmage, and Mock tried to get outside. Good play on the outside. That gets a number.
I believe this to be short. I think Louisville will take over at their own 45. Yep.
Now that's a big gamble, but you have to do that. I don't question Brian Kelly.
No.
I may question the quarterback Steve Ben Mock getting so far outside. He got too far out. Needed to stay behind his guard, but you have to make that call. Now Louisville sitting in pretty good field position. We're going to see about Brian Brown right now.
Chance to lead his team into the lead. Louisville has not had a lead in this contest. They've always come from behind. Brom going for it right here on 1st down. It's a jump ball, and it is taken down by Harry. Douglas came down with it.
I've been waiting for that throw because you have to challenge Cincinnati's defensive backs. Brian Brown hangs it out there. Harry Douglas goes up and makes that catch. Good coverage, but good things can happen when you throw the ball up there deep. Very good coverage.
A 51-yard pass play all the way down to the 3. Look at the numbers on Brom now, up over 300 yards for the 17th time in his career. That's a Big East record.
We're going to review this, whether he really caught this football. Now, it looked like he had it to me.
Now, what you might have seen on the replay is Harry Douglas pushing off. That is not the reviewable part of this play. What they will look at is, did he have possession when he came down with the ball?
I don't know. Hard to see on that angle.
And remember, the call on the field, it was a catch. So you have to have irrefutable video evidence to overturn this call. I think he's got it. I certainly don't see anything on that video, Coach, to overturn the call.
So far, I haven't seen anything. This is the best look right here. I don't think you can overturn it.
No, he's got it right there in his belly.
You got to give him. Now it gives Louisville time to come up with a play call here. And, you know, that bowling ball they got, Brock Boland, 6 foot 237, would be a good choice right here. You know, the center, Eric Wood, for Louisville, is from Elder High School here. In his junior and senior year, Elder was 28-2. And, you know, he's coming back home, so be a good time to run the bowling ball right behind the young man from Cincinnati.
1st down, Louisville.
Eric Wood.
Yeah, after review, Coach. The play
you were right.
Calls a stand. Well, it's a pretty easy call. Douglas knew he had it. It was never in doubt. So you're right. A chance for Steve Cragthorpe and Charlie Stubbs, his offensive coordinator, to take some time, call the plays now on 1st and goal from the 3. Remember, Louisville has never led in this game.
They got Anthony Allen in the big back.
Anthony Allen, the lone back at the 10. And Allen's got it. Cuts back into the middle, into the end zone. Touchdown, Louisville, and the Cardinals lead for the first time.
Well, you talk about a big shift in momentum. 4th down play. This is right over the center. Eric Wood from Elder High School here in town. Comes right over the big center, cuts back, in the end zone. But the fourth down play, Ben Mock got a little bit too far outside and didn't make up the first down, and Louisville made them pay.
Boy, the first play after that, Coach, they went 51 yards to Harry Douglas down to the 3. And then Anthony Allen with his 7th touchdown on the ground this year. So Louisville, they've been playing from behind this entire game. There is a flag on that extra point. We'll see what that's about first. But right now, Louisville, for the moment anyway, has a 7-point advantage.
This is big right here, this penalty, because if it's against Louisville, they're going to kick off from the 15.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, number 37 defense. The 15-yard penalty would be enforced on a free kick. Extra point is good.
That's on, again.
It's Cincinnati, and so it's going to hurt their field position.
Yeah, that's against Anthony Williams. So again, this time they stay on the ground. Anthony Allen with the touchdown, and Louisville is in front of 15th-ranked Cincinnati. Lead of the game over 15th-ranked Cincinnati. 28-21 our score, and now because of the personal foul penalty called against Anthony Williams, kicking off Todd Flannery from the 45. He booms this one into the end zone, and they'll just down it there. So Cincinnati will start their offense at the 20-yard line as we get you to Lowell Galindo for an update from that Cal game.
Well, guys, as bad as Oregon State looked on the road where your guys are out in Cincinnati, they're looking very good at Berkeley. That's Avinson Bernard going up top to give the Beavers a lead. They got the 2-point conversion to make it a 7-point game. And on the ensuing kickoff, Javid Best fumbles. Beavers recover. Oregon State up 7 with 6 minutes left.
Wow.
Right now, the Beavers have all kinds of fans at Ohio State, South Florida, Boston College. Everybody's cheering for Oregon State on the East Coast. Mock, he's able to find his receiver underneath. That's Gilliard. And now Gilliard fumbles the ball. The 4th turnover for the Bearcats tonight.
Now they're going to look at that and see if he was down.
Call on the field, a fumble.
I thought he was down, Dave. Screen pass again, Ben Mock.
Tough to tell there. Over the game.
Before we leave the top 10, don't forget Wolford and their big win against Appalachian State, who beat Michigan.
They go back to Greg Moore. Plays that were working earlier in the game. They're going back to that first page of the play sheet. And they gain 3 on first down. It'll make it 2nd down and 7. Cincinnati playing from behind. Last week, of course, they came back and trailed by 10 at halftime to Rutgers. Came back with an impressive 3rd quarter. Across the middle, pass is caught by Barnett, and he hangs onto the ball all the way down to the 37-yard line before Bobby Buchanan could make the stop.
Goes back again. You can't give Ben Mock this much time to find open receivers. He's got a day and a half back there to find open receivers.
23-yard pass play. Boy, did you see Barnett secure this ball? Of course, he fumbled it the last time he had his hands on it. That time there was no chance. Now Mock given time again, and a wide open Barnett again, ripped out of bounds at the 5. Richard Ragland makes the stop, but back-to-back plays to Barnett.
Now the secondaries really has had their work cut out for them because there are so many open receivers. Ben Mock wide open.
So far this drive taking less time than the review. Now the flags come flying in.
It's going to be on Louisville again in substitution.
They'll go half the distance to the goal.
Snap. Illegal substitution. Defense. 12 men in formation. Penalty half the distance to the goal line.
What happens is Brian Kelly's moving this game so fast. They have to substitute all those people. It puts pressure on you.
It really
does.
It's
like Sam Weiss did that in the NFL a long time ago.
back. Boy,
Yeah,
people in Cincinnati, they'll remember that.
Oh, they do.
Look at this. Power eye. Mock looking to the corner of the end zone. Tipped away. Good play defensively out there. Nice play. As that pass was deflected out there by Brandon Heath.
Brandon Heath didn't take the play fake. Both defensive backs and linebackers stayed on their assignments. Brandon Heath just gets his hands up there.
Just in time. Now 2nd and goal. Another good play defensively, this time by Rod Council. He's able to keep Glodar out of the end zone. Glodar is their designated short yardage runner. He has 6 touchdowns on only 37 carries this year.
That's good odds right there. Council needed to wrap up because he would have saved another 1.5 yards there if he could have wrapped up and brought Gladhard down. So here's where Cincinnati's dangerous, because Mock actually could run this in.
Now Louisville takes a time. A great day of football on the U today. Starting with South Florida at noon, then on to Virginia, UConn, in our 3:30 matchup, and now here at night in prime time, it's Louisville and Cincinnati.
5-yard penalty against the Bearcats. They're going to move them back.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 79 offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Khalil El Amin with the penalty. So now you got to go back to your playbook and say, all right, we had 3rd and goal at the 2. Now a little tougher. We're at the 7.
You had both options on the 2. You had to run, you had to pass. Now you got to throw.
If you don't make it here, Coach, do you go for it on 4th down or
a lot of time
settle
left.
for the field goal?
8:50 left. I think I'd take the field goal, pending what I get.
Empty backfield. Mock. Quick strike into the end zone. And there is no flag on the play. Mock wanted a penalty called, no flag, and it will bring up a 4th down. They were looking for Goodman again, but this time tighter coverage.
And Ben Mock, a little tighter coverage by the corners on the post.
So field goal try. Jake Rogers. It is up and it is good. But still Louisville hangs on to the lead. 28-24 with 8:42 to go. Now it's up to that Bearcat defense to try to stop Brian Brom. Good kick. It'll send Kai all the way into the end zone where he'll down it. And Louisville will start their drive on their own 20-yard line. And we go down to Melissa Knowles.
You know, that's right. This month is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month for the month of October. And in support of the fight against breast cancers, all the referees in the Big East will be equipped with hot pink whistles. So they've been using those whistles quite a bit tonight, and I'm sure you'll see it for the rest of the month of October. Dave?
It's nice of them to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Nice of the officials to lend a helping hand in the cause. Well, now it's up to Brian Brom to try to seal the deal for Louisville. And Brom, ooh, he almost threw a pick. Mickens was there again. Mickens tonight, he's had his hand on the ball twice, but hasn't been able to come up with it.
Yes, and Brian Brom right now in the Louisville offense, you get the feeling that they know they have to go score. You can't let this game up to your defense. Your defense has been porous. You played pretty good defense tonight, but you have to move the ball down the field and score points in this drive.
A little surprised to see Brom go for that much on 1st down. Working from the shotgun. A give to Allen on the draw play. And Allen, he refuses to go down. Finally, team tackled at the 25. They'll give him forward progress to the 26.
Every third down is important. We talked about Brian Brown. It's in third downs as a quarterback's downs. He has to complete this pass. This Louisville cannot afford to give Cincinnati the ball back with their defense.
Don't forget, coming up right after our game, it's Florida A&M and South Carolina State. As this great day of college football continues here on the U. A 3rd and 4 here. Just 3 for 11. The Cardinals on third down tonight. Brom steps up. He's got it, and I think it's going to be shy of the first down. Ryan Manilak, who came up huge last week against Rutgers, he makes the stop at the 29. What a play by Manilak.
You have to know where the sticks are at. You got to get to the sticks for the first down.
4th down. You can't gamble here if you're Louisville.
They're going to try to draw him off sides.
This is a mistake.
No, if you draw him off sides, he made quarterback sneak. Remember, 6'4", 228.
He is going to go for it. We'll see. They stand him up right at the line. I do believe he got it. I'm shocked that they went for it.
You know what? I'm not, because your defense is so bad. You want to put Cincinnati in good field position. You have a half a yard to go. Hey, you're rolling the dice.
Half a yard, though, at your own 29.
I know, but it's half a yard with a bad defense, so you have to go for it. And I like to call. I'm telling you, the guy made a good call, and he knows his defense.
What message are you sending to your defense? I don't think you're good enough to stop
I'm going to keep the defense on the side right now. I'm going to keep my offense in there.
All right. Well, not a bad call now, as Trent Guy able to go on the end around, and he is forced out of bounds after a huge gain for Louisville of 17, and we get you to Lowell Galindo.
No quit in the Cal Golden Bears. They are trailing Oregon State, but they're trying to hold on to that #2, possibly #1 ranking. Lavelle Hawkins, 64-yard touchdown pass from the freshman Kevin Riley. Oregon State still leads 31-28, 2 minutes left, and guys, Wofford won today.
So Oregon State trying to hang on, and right here it's Cincinnati trying to come back. Louisville trying to hang on and go to 1-1 in the Big East and 4-3 overall with what would be their best win of the year. Allen with the gain up to the 50.
I want to go back to that fourth
sure
down a half yard. No, when you said it at the beginning, you're 3-3. You've lost one league game. You know, everybody thought you're going to be undefeated right now. So you have to do some things to generate some offense and generate some confidence in this football team. I know this, feeling up here, they need to score if they're going to beat Cincinnati.
Easy for you to say it now. You're operating from a position of strength since they made it on that fourth down.
I would have said it. I said it before.
Yeah, you did. I'll give you credit for that. Now we've got a whistle and flags come in. We might have a delay a game against Louisville.
Timeout by Steve Craigthorpe again.
Did it do it again?
Yeah. Dave, here's the thing. I want to go back to this because, you know,
and there's more yet to come.
Great game here.
All right, 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Here comes the pressure. Line picked it up. Brom will run for it, and he goes out of bounds. That'll stop the clock at the 46-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3.
Wise move by Brian Brom. Nothing open. Joe Tracy, the defensive coordinator, brought the house. Brian Brom, another big 3rd down.
Well, it won't matter if he doesn't make it. They'll go for it on 4th down no matter what.
I don't know about that. You're talking about 3rd
you
2.
Changed your mind
3rd
again.
2 and 3. No, I think it's, if you have a half yard, you go for it. 3rd and 3, you might punt.
Well, they didn't get it, and so we'll see. Anthony Allen stood up at the 44-yard line. They need to get just inside the 43. It's going to bring up a 4th and a little more than 1.
I'm going to say this right now. I would punt here. 4th and 2. But I still have that feeling you can't give the ball back to Cincinnati. And Steve Cragthorpe is thinking the same thing right now.
I would punt too.
He's going to go for it.
Now, see, I would punt. I would try to pin him back a little bit more, but he's thinking, you know what?
He's going to try to draw him off sides here.
I don't think so. I think he's really going to go for it.
Take a timeout and think about it.
Yeah, that's sort of the last time out. So they burn their last time out to think about it with 4:55 remaining. Well, now they've got to delay a game.
I think they got the timeout first.
They didn't. No timeout. So now they just went ahead and punt. They're going to say, you know what? Let's rethink this. Let's just take the delay a game. That doesn't hurt you here. So now let's punt the ball.
Strange call on 3rd down.
Yeah.
Pick up that 1st down. I think Brian Brown would have been better to try to.
Nakamura. Well, this is a high punt. Nakamura's going to let it go and into the end zone. So that's a break for the Bearcats. Now they get to start at their own 20-yard line and plenty of time. 4:46 remaining. Can Cincinnati remain unbeaten? Louisville, at least for the moment, in Cincinnati, trying to hand the Bearcats their first loss. Cincinnati at 6-0 on the year and a number 15 ranking. Louisville trying to get back in the mix at 3-3 on the year, but 0-1 in the Big East. Now, is this a fumble or what? The ball is loose. Who's got it? Mock is going to say his arm was going forward. It doesn't matter, at least as far as who has the ball, because Cincinnati able to recover.
And Louisville finally got pressure on Ben Mock. Defensive lineman in his face, made the play.
And that was Heyman who came in.
Earl Heyman.
Yeah, that was going to be a fumble. That is a fumble. Bearcats lucky to get it back. They've already turned the ball over 3 times in this game. Slung down the middle of the field, in and out of the hands of Ernest Jackson.
Wow.
He'd have been off to the races. Jackson had no one between him and the end zone.
Want to go back to that 4th down play. That's why you go for it, because the secondary had left some guys wide open.
Oh my, right off the fingertips of Ernest Jackson.
Now this is a big 3rd down for Ben Mock now.
You bet. 3rd and 11 for Mock.
Got to find Goodman.
Mock stepping up. Now he just whips it out there, and is that a catch? It is. Are you kidding me? This will probably be reviewed.
Penalty flag down 2.
Penalty flag was Mock in front of the line of scrimmage when he kind of slingshot that ball forward.
I think he was.
And then was it a catch by Butler Benton?
Down. Illegal forward pass. Offense on the quarterback. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Loss of down. Stop down.
So that's the double whammy.
Got to check that too. Ben Mock threw that ball.
Well, it wasn't a catch
like a
anyway.
Hook shot. 4th down now. Cincinnati still has their 3 timeouts.
See that? It hits the ground there.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been a catch anyway. So now you lose the 5 yards plus you lose the down because of the illegal forward pass. They need a big punt here from Huber, and they don't get it. That's a bad punt by Huber. That's the 2nd bad punt by Huber in this game. And he has been an all-star for them all season long. He's upset with himself as Huber, a short 31-yard kick out of bounds, and they'll spot the ball on the Cincinnati side of the 50.
Brian Brown's going to kill this clock. He has to kill the clock, but they don't have much of a running game. They've rushed for 97 yards tonight, but Cincinnati very good against the run, so they could use their timeouts, still get the ball back.
Brom's thinking we need a 1st down or 2 and we can ice this game. On the draw play, nothing doing. In fact, a loss of 1 for Anthony Allen.
He's not going to get it with the running game. He's
going
to have to throw. No.
You wait.
Yeah, wait. Cincinnati knows Louisville has to throw the football too. If they incomplete, that stops the clock.
So all the pressure on Brian Brohm. Cincinnati with all 3 timeouts. There actually is 1 timeout remaining for Louisville. The last time they did not call a timeout, they took the 5-yard delay a game penalty instead. Now Brohm rolls out, and he finds his receiver, who has a first down and more, but going out of bounds with the ball is Gary Barnidge, his tight end. That'll stop the clock at the 28-yard line, though. Go the Cardinals.
Steve Kragthorpe with a very good call. Fake run, roll out away from the action, get it to your tight end Barnidge. He hurdles a guy, goes out of bounds. You'd like to keep him in bounds, but you still got the first down.
Kragthorpe looking for his marquee win as the Louisville head coach, trying to knock off the 15th ranked team in the country on their home turf. Don't forget, right after our game, it's Florida A&M and South Carolina State coming up right at the conclusion of our contest. Cincinnati hanging on for their dear life. Right now, all that's separating these two teams, 4 points. And remember that missed field goal earlier by Art Carmody. There could be a touchdown lead. You're already in field goal range for Carmody at this point. Boy, everybody up in the box for the Bearcats. Expecting the run, they get the run. And down goes Allen for a loss of a couple of yards.
Now
Corey Smith, the first one to hit him.
Now the timeouts, Dave.
Brohm, why not throw it? I mean, you've got the best quarterback in the country. He's only thrown 4 interceptions all year. It's not a gamble to have him throwing the ball. And again, they give it to Allen, and again, he goes almost nowhere. Stopped at the 30, and again, a quick timeout.
Now you say if it's incomplete, Cincinnati saves a timeout, but I'm going for the win.
I agree with you. I don't have a problem with him throwing the ball, and he throws it complete down to the 5-yard line to Patrick Carter, and that might just seal the deal.
Well, Patrick Carter has come up big. Urrutia not playing tonight, the big 6'6" receiver for Fern Creek.
So Louisville trying to put the finishing touches here in Cincinnati. Let's get an update on Cal from Lowell Galindo.
Cal was trailing by 3 in field goal range, but no timeouts.
He's going to throw it away.
Kevin Riley.
He's going to throw it away.
The redshirt freshman.
He's going to throw it away.
But he doesn't. He goes down. The clock keeps running.
Give the ball back.
Cal cannot get off the field goal. So Oregon State gets the win 31-28. We'll have a new number 1 and 2.
How about that? The freshman making a huge mistake, and 1 and 2 mistake.
We're number 1. Shouldn't be.
I'm okay if South Florida moves up there. It's not a bad call. How about that? From nowhere to number 1. Allen again. Looking for the end zone. Oh, he stopped just shy of the end zone. Really good game-saving tackle by Nakamura.
Nakamura's, Brian Kelly said, is the pulse of our defense, pulse of our team. Hard-hitting defensive back. Makes that play right there, or otherwise Allen's in the end zone.
And it's ball game. And it's almost impossible for the Bearcats as is if Allen scores there. And I'm not so sure. Boy, the way he reached that football, he might have crossed that goal line.
I think Louisville's going to take a timeout. You have Brian Brown, quarterback sneak here.
3rd and goal. This is last gasp time for the Bearcats. Brohm not in. So now they'll run the clock down, I would assume, and kick a field goal. I think that's the best bet for Louisville at this point. Wouldn't you agree? And then that way you're up 7. The best Cincinnati could do, unless they gambled and went for 2, would be to go to overtime.
Yeah, Brian Brown with this quarterback sneak. His center got knocked back. Eric Wood. Watch the center. gets knocked back, his feet get knocked back. Good penetration by the Bearcats.
And Nakamura
They're going to leave
there.
it. They're going to leave it right on the 1 yard line if they don't make it.
Brom didn't make it. Well, now Cincinnati's got a chance to win it outright. They don't have any timeouts, and they only have 36 seconds remaining.
I don't have a problem with that call. I don't like the quarterback sneak there because you didn't make it to time before. See, now you've got 99 yards to go with no timeouts in 36 seconds.
I guess in my book, I would have gone ahead and taken the field goal, go up 7. Then in my mind, worst case scenario, if they have a miracle finish, then they tie the game and we go to overtime. Now, if they gamble and go for 2, all right, you lose that way. All right.
I like to call.
That's fine. I mean, you're still putting them, obviously, in a tough spot.
99 yards.
In 36 seconds with no timeouts. And almost picked off. Now, a flag comes in. Palmer was there defensively. I'm not sure what the flag is about because the receiver was well beyond the ball.
Only 5 seconds off.
Pass interference. Number 36 defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
That gets you out to the 20.
Yeah, I really, the receiver
16.
was not within 5 yards. So.
No, unless he rode him out of bounds and grabbed his jersey. 16-yard line.
Well, it took 5 seconds off the clock.
You just got to keep the ball in front of you if you're Louisville.
Mock rolling out. Throws it up, and the pass is complete. They'll stop the clock. There is a flag down.
It's holding.
Could be coming back here.
It's definitely coming back. It's holding on the left tackle.
The offense. He's half the distance to the goal line. First down.
They called it on the back. 23.
Yeah, Butler, Benton.
Ben. Tell you, Mock makes things happen.
He does.
Gets outside.
It's a tough throw.
Took a hit too. A lot of gambles, but if you're Steve Cragthorpe, this is a season.
Yeah.
You have to let all the laundry hang out.
22 seconds remaining. Now the clock moving. Mock gets away from traffic and now picked off, and that will do it. Louisville will pull off the upset in Cincinnati and beat the previously unbeaten Bearcats. Pass intercepted by Terrain, his first interception of the year, and the 4th turnover of the game for Cincy.
The way, the method they've been winning with, they lost with tonight, the turnovers. Mock threw across his body, just trying to make something happen, but you can't lose sight of how far Cincinnati's come under Brian Kelly. And the crowd tonight, in the football, the Big East, everything points in the right direction here for Cincinnati. And for Louisville, they're back in this race.
They certainly are. Louisville, a breath of fresh air here in Cincinnati tonight as Steve Cragthorpe with his big signature win as a Louisville Cardinal head coach. A big day for the Bluegrass State, I should say, as 17th ranked Kentucky. They knock off previously #1 and unbeaten LSU. And now Louisville, they retain the keg of nails for the 5th straight year. That keg of nails has been the personal property of the Louisville Cardinal. It'll stay in Louisville for another year as they knock off 15th ranked Cincinnati by the final score of 28-24. Coming up next, it's Florida A&M and South Carolina State.